right. Chat, how you guys doing today? Another day. Another day, another dollar. Bruh. Bro, we might be on the community tab for a little bit, and then after that, we might hop onto some Yakuza 0, not gonna lie. Yakuza 0? No, Yakuza Kiwami. Kiwami, get it right. I gotta get it. Yakuza Kiwami, not 0. Kiwami. There goes Travin with the 0? Kiwami. Man, another day, another dollar. How you guys doing today? Man, it's Monday. Fuck Mondays, bro. Monday sucks, but we're here. Oh my God. I woke up and when I saw how gray it was outside, I said, hell no. You said, are you going to play Yakuza 3? Bro, let me beat Kiwami first before I get onto 3. Don't ask me if I'm going to play something first until I defeat the current game that I'm trying to beat. Once I'm done with that game, then y'all can ask me that. Man. Yo, I'm on Kiwami. I'm trying to get on it, and everybody like, nah, bro, you going to play the next 8 installments? Plus the spin-offs, plus the race car game where he's in. Skip parts? I gotta skip parts. Man, let's see, chat.
Why would the same kind of game that used to make money
Who the fuck is this? This guy look like Blueface.
suddenly become impossible to fund?
Oh, wait, what company he talking about? Who? Sly Cooper? Mirror's Edge? Dead Rising? Prototype? What same company made all these games?
The answer is just maths.
2 + 2 is 4, -1, that's 3, quick maths.
In the early 2000s, if you built a new 3D console game that was a new IP for like $6 to $8 million, and you sold 2 million units at $50 retail, you were probably in strong shape. Even after distribution, manufacturing, overhead, there's
I mean, that's back in the day.
probably still a margin. There was sequel potential. Now, imagine a modern production quality equivalent in the US. You might not want it to cost $100 million, but because audience expectations have shifted, if it's not a sequel or a remake, they're going to want a reason to pay attention. They need high fidelity art, full performance capture, cinematic presentation. Even if you hold that budget for $100 to $120 million all in, including marketing somehow, which is conservative for AAA.
Well, it depends on the gaming company or the gaming franchise, because it's like, for example, Uncharted, right? If they were to ever make another Uncharted game, you know that shit gonna have to hold up or even be better than the ones that came out previously. And the previous Uncharted games that came out is hard to top, because all those games to this day still are bangers and they hold very well today. So imagine in 2026 trying to make another Uncharted game, and it probably costed them way less back in the day to make those Uncharted games. Now, if anything, is gonna be probably in the tens of millions it's gonna cost to make a new Uncharted, because they're gonna have to make it, if not better than the ones that previously came out. So that makes sense.
At $70 retail price, after a typical 30% platform fee.
You say everything more expensive now. It's that you got to pay people, so that costs a lot of money. You got to pay people. The cost of living has risen dramatically in the US and wherever the hell else everybody else is living. So that's just gonna be bread.
Taxes. Possible engine royalties, if you didn't make your own game engine, which most people don't. Post-launch support. Your net per copy might land somewhere around $40 digitally. And at 2 million copies, that's roughly $80 million back.
Yup, that's how shit works, bro. That's how shit works. He says, sometimes I forget that the Japanese television programs are the craziest things that exist in media format. Why the hell is this woman using a Zangetsu to fight someone with Dragon Slayer gut sword from Berserk? She got a Bankai? Whoa! Chop the whole sword! The way she put her hands up, she said, oh, wait a minute. The constant chase towards realism and loss of stylization and sense of identity is one of the worst aspects of modern gaming. I ain't gonna lie, this low-key a hot take. Because I feel like the upgrade from Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake to the remake, he looks great. I think Leon looks great from the classic to like today. And I think Virgil looks cool as hell back in the day and how he looks today. I think they still look good. Even though they're capturing, you know, it's a bit more realistic and they're making them look a bit more human, I guess. I don't think it looks bad. You said games were already trying to look realistic back then, which is why they look like this. The only reason why they look like this back in the day is because of hardware limitations. So whoever's making this take is kind of Pepega. Because think about it. If they had the technology that we have today to make them look like this, they would have made them look like this back in the day. But the reason that they couldn't do that is, like I said, hardware limitations. Yeah, Ronin. Ronin, you act like you never heard of the word Pepega. Ronin, you're Pepega. Ronin, you're Pepega. You know what Pepega means. How Sony wasted the PlayStation 5 era. Ooh. Bro, you keep sending me this bacon motherfucker, bro. Bro, the same... What is your fascination with this one YouTuber, bro? You love this motherfucker. I hate his bacon intro. This intro sucks. He gotta change this intro, bro. I hate seeing a bunch of fat and grease melted on a pan as a fucking intro. Okay, where's the video?
You know, I've said it before and I'll say it again, I'm not necessarily brand loyal to any one particular console or platform. I just want to play games that interest me. I've had various points where I've been a big fan of Nintendo, I've had various points where I've been a big fan of PlayStation. I acknowledge PC gaming as the best overall choice as far as optimally experiencing
Same.
your games, even if it isn't my first choice all the time. As you can tell though, I've traditionally steered more into the PlayStation direction over the years. It's what I grew up with, and of the big three, I vibe with PlayStation exclusives more than those of Nintendo or Xbox, back when Xbox had exclusives. Obviously,
No, when I was growing up, I vibed way harder with Nintendo exclusives when I was growing up. But then I feel like there was just a shift that happened. I don't know when the shift happened from Nintendo to PlayStation. It might have been Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal. I'm not going to lie. And then once I got a PS3 and I realized how much cooler it was. And then I was joining in like group voice chats and shit. And then once I went through all that and I realized Nintendo never had any of that, I was like, oh, wait a minute, this shit different.
people are well aware of the fact that I'm a big God of War fan. It's my favorite game franchise, and I've also been known for my coverage of Twisted Metal, and among other things, I'm also a big fan of Infamous, the Ghost of games, Ratchet & Clank. The list goes on. With that said, there's absolutely no doubt that the whole PlayStation has no games meme that's been going on for ages does ring true somewhat. Despite the fact that console exclusives have traditionally been the thing that sold consoles over the years, the PS5 only has a small handful of them, which doesn't appear to be changing anytime soon. Recently, it was announced that Sony was going to be shutting down Bluepoint Games only a couple years after acquiring them, which really upset me personally. Sure, they're only best known for making remasters/remakes of existing games, but that's been their job, and they've done it incredibly well. To hear that they got shut down after doing basically nothing post-acquirement was sad. In fact, I was baffled more than anything because I questioned what was even the point of acquiring them if they were going to be shutting them down so soon. But then I got to thinking and started asking, what were they even doing for the past couple years? Because I had heard a while ago that Bluepoint Games were working on a game for a while, apparently an original game. And I decided to look more into it and was surprised to find that, of all things, it was a God of War live service game. A game which was cancelled just a few weeks before the studio got shut down. Now, I'll speak in a moment about how much of a baffling fucking decision that is, but after looking into this, it struck me. Didn't I hear of at least 2 separate other live service games by different developers also getting cancelled? I decided to do some digging, and I found something quite illuminating because I didn't know the half of it. Now, generally, I live in a perpetual state of dilligaff and tend not to keep up with a lot of gaming news because I have better things to worry about, so this is probably old news to some of you, but to me it was such an eye-opening revelation that I felt I had to talk about it. Because it made a lot of things suddenly made a lot of sense. There were 3 PlayStation live service games that were cancelled. Not 4, not 5, but 7. Or possibly 6. The number is a bit screwy because of various mixed reports. But either way, no matter how many got cancelled, a bunch got cancelled, and there are a few more whose fates are unknown. And I could not believe that half of those games were even a thing. Aside from the aforementioned God of War, a live service game by Bluepoint Games, as well as The Last of Us, a live service game that was being...
I wish we could have at least seen how the God of War live service game was looking. You know? It would have been cool to see something.
...made by Naughty Dog. You had such riveting ideas as a Spider-Man live service game by Insomniac Games, a Twisted Metal live...
That Spider-Man live service Insomniac shit sound fire. I'm not gonna lie. Like, imagine seeing a bunch of different Spider-Mans just going around Manhattan.
...service game by Firesprite, an unknown project by Bend Studio.
That would have been
a studio which
wonky.
hasn't finished anything since the surprisingly successful Days Gone. Apparently, that's Sony's idea of following up. Then you had several more that weren't tied to specific established IP. Several of these were only vaguely hinted at without any specifics of their existence leaking other than vague details, and I decided to dive into this rabbit hole to explore what the hell had been going on for the past few years that led to this philosophy which made Sony want to start trying to make 12 live service games, as well as what led to the cancellations of all these various games. I mean, I probably don't even need to say what caused all the cancellations, but yeah, we'll get to that. Apparently this goes back to an announcement in 2022 when Jim Ryan announced that these 12 live service games were in development. Let me be clear, I have contempt for Jim Ryan, but I don't hate him as a person because I don't know him. I mean, as much contempt as he earned, apparently he was the one pushing for PlayStation Studios games to come out for PC, so as somebody who wants my favorite games to be played by everyone, I don't know what to think.
I didn't know that. He was also the same one trying to push PlayStation games coming to PC? Oh my gosh. Jim Ryan single-handedly almost destroyed Sony. Because think about it. If Sony started releasing everything on PC and then there's no reason to get a PlayStation, I don't know, bro.
With that said, I know for an absolute fact that the decision to make all these live service games goes back several years before 2022. It also involved a lot of other dumbass faceless executives you've probably never heard of, and it was a dumb decision by every single one of them, including Jim. Either way, apparently this was an attempt to refocus their business strategy, an attempt at a new chapter in PlayStation's history. It's plain to see that in hindsight, that this was an absolute brain-dead decision. Because how many games have come out for the PS5 right now that qualify as high-level exclusives that aren't ports or remasters? To make it trickier, games that also didn't have a PS4 port. But let's also include ground-up remakes, since those are pretty much whole new games. And I'll include those that eventually came out for PC. What, around 10? Meanwhile, the PS4 had like 30. It's also noted in some press releases that when these developers were instructed to make live service games, they were apparently not happy with the decision, which makes sense. A lot of these developers were traditionally single-player developers.
Bro, you even had the devs being like, really? You want us making this shit? And they were like, whatever Massa says, Massa gets.
Being forced into a situation they weren't used to. That's the same reason why that Kill the Justice League game was not good. Among other reasons, Rocksteady was expected to make a game that they weren't.
I forgot all about that Kill the Justice League game. Bro, that game super died. I forgot all about that game.
To make. So if you look at the list of games that were being made here that were obviously bad ideas that got canceled or might get canceled, just imagine, if you will, a world where all these developers were instead making single-player games that they were interested in, where all this development time and money went to that instead. A world where nearly a dozen studios weren't hamstrung by idiotic corporate overlords without any foresight. Well, first of all, I don't envision Bungie making a non-live service game, so the two that they were making can be safely discounted, and obviously Helldivers 2 and Concord both came out, which leaves no less than 8 games that were being made or are currently being made that nobody asked for. And I don't think all 8 of those devs would have finished product.
Bro, what I want to know with Concord is why they pulled that plug so fast. Like, they didn't even, like, come on. It's like, look, I'm not saying I'm a Concord fan. They didn't even try. You could have at least, like, let it run for an extra month and then be like, yo, let's add additional content. Let's see, like, if we could try to get some people in. They super gave up. They said, wait a minute, nobody here day one? Pull the cord. Especially after all the money they threw into it, because think about it. With that much money that they invested into Concord, you could have at least been like, yo, let's try for 2 months to see if we could try to bring in some type of revenue or traction into our game. They didn't even... Bro, how long was it? They gave it like a week. They gave that shit a week and they pulled the cord. They didn't even give it a full month cycle. They said, yo, fuck this shit. Pull the cord. Kill it. Put a pillow in front of its face and shoot it with a silencer or some shit. My God.
If they were making single-player games instead of games as a service, a few of them probably would have been canceled, but let's just say 6 of them came out. That would effectively double the amount of PlayStation exclusives that came out this generation. You think about that and you realize, remember how I mentioned the whole PlayStation has no games meme at the beginning of the video? For the past couple of years, I was under the assumption that the fact that PlayStation has had a sporadic first-party lineup at best, like a reverse Wii U, that it was entirely off the back of development now taking too long for them to be coming out consistently. But
yo, when we get a new Astrobot?
That's actually not the case. PlayStation had the capabilities.
You think we get a new Astrobot? I feel like after how well the other Astrobot did and it won Game of the Year and you know their budget wasn't that high to make that game, you think we get another one? You said not this decade? Really? Why wouldn't they make another Astrobot? It's getting DLC, say on God. Like a big expansive DLC, kind of like Monster Hunter, like Sunbreak.
To be able to release upwards of 8 more separate exclusive games in addition to what they currently have. But instead, they chose to bank all their success on the hypothetical infinite money glitch that is live service gaming. And you don't need to be a genius to see where it all went downhill. They bet the entire generation on this and they failed. Ray Charles could have seen that this was a bad idea, and he doesn't even play video games. Now because of this, Bluepoint is gone, and who knows who's next. They wasted an entire generation for this. And it's not like we're halfway through the generation. Front to back, the 8th generation was 7 years. Meanwhile, Generation 9 began in late 2020. Think about it. And you know, I look at all this wasted time and money, and I can't help but think about...
I don't care what anybody says. 2020 was COVID. And it was scalper hell. I don't count PlayStation 5 officially like really starting till like 2023. I'm going to keep it a bean. Because 2020, 2021, and 2022, bro, it was COVID era. Motherfuckers wasn't spending money. The whole world was at a standstill. And that shit lasted for like a good 2-3 years realistically. So that's just me personally. I know some of y'all gonna be like, I don't give a fuck. That shit started 2020. Hey, that's you. Me personally, I feel like Sony started getting its foot in like 2023, 2024, and then it started like picking up. Blood fell for the Sony brainwashing. What you talk about, Digicun? I got some Sony water right here, man. What you mean?
Japan studio, and how they were closed down for not being profitable enough.
Oh,
I'm sure
Gravity
the
Rush
specifics are too
dying is
complex for
crazy.
someone like me to understand, and Lord knows they hadn't made anything that really interested me in a long time. But I'm also wondering if they even had the ability to do so. Obviously, things like Knack and Gravity Rush ended up being niche, but Japan Studio was also saddled with a bunch of VR stuff as well as Android and iOS slop. Meanwhile, back in the PS1 days, they took multiple years with a 100-person team to make Legend of Dragoon. They obviously didn't have that kind of support by the end, even though the PS4 was more successful than the PS1. But why couldn't they? They had the pedigree. It says to me that they could have been supported but weren't seen as worthy because once Sony decided to refocus their efforts into the primarily live service market, Japan Studio seemingly just didn't fit their vision. So they got the axe, and there was nothing that Japan Studio could have done about it. Of course, now that it didn't go their way, others are getting the axe. Sure, they got one successful game out of it in Helldivers 2, which is still being supported and still being played by a lot of people to this day, but then you had Concord. I already made a video on Concord because it's a game that fascinates me, but looking at the failure of Concord in the face of everything that they were attempting to do, I think Concord failing was the absolute best thing that could have happened. Like, it's not good that people are now facing layoffs, but at the very least, it should give Sony some level of pause. Because with their continued success since the PS4 came out, they've had every reason to be arrogant, and if nothing else, a high-profile failure like that should give them an indication that this attempted restructuring is bound for failure. So at the very least, it shouldn't be as big of an issue in the future. Hence, several of these games were cancelled after Concord flopped. Although Sony did announce a new live service game only a few months after Concord's failure, so I don't know what's up. Perhaps corporate hubris really is the thing that subverts any logic or sense. But still, Sony's catastrophic failure to cash in on this trend is indicative of the entire industry at this point. At this point, I treat the phrase a live service game with the same attitude I treat the phrase 3-hour drive. I hate the fact that so much of the industry has found itself chasing this unicorn and sacrificed so much of their goodwill and potential release schedule on trying to make these live service games. This is entirely an attempt to gain money that so rarely works. How many
because they want to make a game that has constant cash flow. They don't want a game where it's like for example, Resident Evil. I love Resident Evil. I love the series. I love the franchise. But a lot of people, you play Resident Evil, you finish Resident Evil, and you kind of put it down after you finish it. Especially like if, I don't know, sometimes people are like, platinum trophy hunters or achievement hunters. They'll probably do the second playthrough like right away. But an average Joe Schmo playing like Resident Evil, they'll do one playthrough, beat the playthrough, see the credits once, and then they're like, yo, I'm done with the game. But Sony wants a game, and everybody else wants a game that you keep getting on it, logging in like Nikke, like Apex Legends, like Fortnite. You keep coming back to the game and you keep spending money on the game. And before you know it, those little microtransactions add up over time. Before you realize it, you've been like, damn, bro, I've been playing this game for 5 years. Yo, how long you been playing, bro? Or like, how much money have you dropped on this game? I'll be like, damn, bro, probably like $1,000. Damn, $1,000? That's what they want. They want to keep a motherfucker constantly coming back to the shit and playing it and spending on it. Don't forget to spend. You said never ask Retro how much he spent on Apex Legends. I don't even want to talk about it, bro, because I got like a good like 4, 5, or 6 heirlooms, and I haven't hopped on the game for like a year plus, and don't ask.
Live service games have attempted to grab the zeitgeist and failed.
I gotta hop back on Apex.
Concord is
bro.
obviously the big one, but at time of writing, the studio that made the live service skate game just had to lay off a bunch of their employees because the game is floundering. Also at time of writing, there was a recent release.
Bro, all I see, like, what do you even do in skate? You just skate. They laid off a bunch of people from the skate game. It's like, what additional content have they added on skate? All they do is skate. And every time I see people skating in that game, they're doing dumb shit where like they're going down this really steep hill and then they're in the sky trying to do a trick over like a small gap opening and shit. Okay.
A game called Highguard, which was announced at the Game Awards and was immediately derided as Concord 2. And while it had the right idea of being free to play and had a good day one, it dropped off.
Bro, I can't believe Highguard actually got that tag. Concord 2. Highguard, out. Bro, now you gonna have to change your resume, bro. Imagine you having on your resume, yo, I worked on freaking Highguard. They're gonna be like, oh, you worked on Concord 2? Terrible, bro.
cliff after that. In fact, in the time it's taken for me to write these words down and speak into my microphone, the game announced its shutdown. I knew the game wasn't doing well, but I had no idea it was doing that bad. And then you have other such examples. Anybody remember Multiverses? Yeah, that was popular for about 2 seconds. Anthem is getting shut down because while it sold well, it failed to reach the cash flow it needed to make its money back. How about Babylon's Fall?
Anthem,
a live service game that was such a massive
bro,
hit.
you talking about Anthem like as if people were still playing Anthem. Not a single soul was playing Anthem. Anthem was the same shit where, like, remember when everybody was bitching and moaning about like the games don't die? Like, there was this whole movement where they're like, yo, we don't want our games to die and blah blah blah, and they kept using Anthem as an example. Nobody was playing Anthem, bro. They're like, nah, bro, but I still want to own my copy of Anthem. I'm like, it don't matter. It don't matter, brother. You're not gonna play the game anyway. Anthem was shit. People just wanted to use Anthem as like a catalyst or some shit. Nobody was playing Anthem. Even if I have an offline version of Anthem right now in my hands at my disposal, I'm not playing that shit.
Failure, it was shut down in 6 months, which at the time was
I ain't playing no
hilariously short.
Anthem.
Then there's Skull and Bones, or what about that
Anthem
game
ruined
about
the
a certain
development
squad
for
killing
Mass
the
Effect?
Justice League?
Damn,
It's
I
failure
didn't know
after
that.
failure. These companies sink hundreds of millions of dollars into these grandiose attempts at never-ending games, only to have them fail one by one. And why is that? Because nobody wants this shit. The reason why very few live service games actually succeed long-term is because the average person only has time for 1, maybe 2 live service games at a
I agree. 1 to 2 live service games at a time. True. And also, we have everyday lives that we got to get to. That's why I fuck with Nikke, even though I know people going to be like, yo, man, Nikke a goon game. I don't care. What I like about Nikke is that shit's on my hands. I could whip it out on my phone. They got a desktop client. I could do multiple shit. Oh, yeah, by the way, Nep, if you still in the chat, bro, how clean is that phone that you got right now? I know that screen is crispy, bro. I'm jelly. You got that 26 Ultra, bro. I saw that shit. How's that phone treating you so far? I know that phone is nice as fuck, bro. I wish I had a Galaxy.
time. And much like MMOs of old, when somebody inevitably grows tired of trying out the new live service game, they're always going to gravitate back towards the one they like the
You
most.
said just get the 24? I want to do that. Because the last Samsung I had was the 24 Ultra. I want to repurchase a 24 Ultra, but I want to get it used in good condition or at least refurbished with like everything still working and it looks fine. If it got a little scratch on the back, I don't care because I'm going to put a phone screen on it. But I got to see if I could go to Best Buy and see if I can find one open box. That's what I got to do. The most I'll try to see if I'll spend on that bitch is like 600. 600, 650, 7 max. S24 is still good, plus the pen has Bluetooth features. They took it away from the 26. The 24, I still like that shit, bro. I'm so mad my screen cracked.
Which is probably the one they've been playing for months, if not years. That's the reason why Fortnite is still popular. Hell, my personal live service game of choice is Marvel Rivals. I've never even touched some of these games, even if they should hypothetically...
No, also shout out to Marvel Rivals because, yo, they make their characters look good because they add a little fan service to the shit. I see the way they make some of these girl character models look. They make them look good, bro. And then some of their, like, you know, Halloween or Christmas skins or, what's his name? Summer skins. Some of these characters look good. You said Black Cat, though? Yo, look. It's good, in my opinion, to add a little bit of fan service to some games. I don't care. Some people will be mad at it and be like, oh, you're just horny. I'm like, man, who gives a fuck? Sex sells, bro. You make a character look sexy, I'm going to want to spend money on that character. You make Black Widow or any one of these girl characters look fine in a new outfit. I'm gonna get it, bro. You said Gooning Never Dies, bro.
Trust me. I would have gladly paid for an actual
I remember
skate
when
game
people
because
were
I love that
complaining a little
series.
bit
But the
about it.
moment
They
I
were
heard
like,
it was
hey,
a
man,
live
you
service,
kind of
I lost all
sexualizing these
interest. But
characters
since
a
most
little
people
bit.
only
I'm
have
like,
time for one or
they
two
trying to
big
make
live
money.
service games, there's only room for a couple of big games at the top, and everybody else wants to race to become the next big thing without realizing there's never going to be any room. The breakout hits are going to be very few and far between. The fact that Sony had 12 live service games in development with only one of them being successful so far, that's pretty indicative of the entire live service model. You're only going to get enough people to want to spend that much time on a game every so often. The market is well and truly more saturated than could ever reasonably support all these live service games, to the point where it should be so obvious that there's no room to break through. But apparently nobody in these executive roles can recognize that, or they're too arrogant, assuming their idea is going to be the one to break through.
No, another thing too is that they make a lot of these games so similar to another game. Whenever they release a new live service game, you play it a little bit and you be like, this shit a little bit like Apex mixed in with Titanfall, mixed in with Fortnite, mixed in with a little bit of Call of Duty and Battlefield. It's like none of them feel unique. They all feel like they took little traits of certain other games and then they try to mesh it all into one. And then when you play it, you instantly start feeling like Like, all right, this should feel a little bit like this, like that, like that. It don't feel like its own identity, bro.
I should specify that of the 12 games that were or are being made, including those that have come out, these don't include the live service games like MLB The Show or Gran Turismo 7. I don't count those, and neither do the lists that have compiled these games, as they have an entirely different audience from more gamey games. Now, I'm not one of those insufferable nerds who looks down on people who are obsessed with sports. I mean, I'm Canadian.
I do, bro. I don't care what anybody says. If you got a PS5 and you only got sports games on that shit, I'm gonna look at you a little funny. I'm gonna be like, bro, you know how many other games you could be playing on that shit? And then they're like, nah, man, I'm just playing Madden. I'm like, come on, bro, you only playing sports?
I love hockey. But while there is some crossover, the audience that plays
I'm only
primarily
playing
sports games
basketball
and
on my
driving games are
PlayStation.
much
Come
different and
on,
have
bro,
different
there's
spending
so much
habits
other
than
games
those
you
who
could
play
be playing.
primarily core games. As far as the audience and development of more core games are
Look how
concerned,
this
I'm
girl
eternally
skating.
fascinated by the fact that these companies have to
She
keep
was laying
learning
on
and
that
relearning
shit.
the same lessons. Every single year, it's the exact same story. Live service game after live service game flops, while you inevitably have several breakout single-player hits that grab the zeitgeist completely by accident. Like in 2025, it was Expedition 33, which I'm fully aware has become a bit of a divisive game recently on account of the fact that it was perhaps overpraised, and when you overpraise something, inevitably you're gonna get pushback. But when you think about it, that was a Cinderella story. It was a unique product with a unique vision that was made for a reasonable amount of money.
They want to say overpraised, but it's like the game was great. Mind you, I didn't even finish it. I know, chat, don't remind me. I already know. But the game was great. It did a lot of shit that a lot of people enjoyed. The story was great. The characters looked great. The environments looked great. People just started getting mad because it was getting praised. People just getting mad because, hey, they jealous. They wanted their games to win, and it didn't win.
By a team of passionate professionals, and it resonated with the audience and sold more copies than they probably could have.
Why
ever
don't I
imagined.
finish it?
Not
Because
every
I'm
game
playing
can be that lucky,
Yakuza.
but there's a reason why the breakout hit of the year is almost always a single-player game. Because the audience who plays live service games have already found their games more often than not. The
True.
audience actually wanting to play new single-player games are the ones buying multiple games per year.
I ain't gonna lie though. Who has the new Ghost of Tsushima? Bro, I would love to get on the new Ghost of Tsushima DLC, bro. I love the multiplayer in the OG Ghost of Tsushima. I went so hard on the OG multiplayer. Those raids took forever.
Here, even if you don't like Expedition 33, there were two other successful independently funded games that represent each level of independent game development, and are each wildly successful. Blueprints was a game made by one guy and sold 2 million copies. Hollow Knight Silksong broke Steam briefly. Look at that, you have a big studio indie game otherwise known as a AA game in Expedition 33, a small studio indie game with Silksong, and a solo developed indie game in Blueprints. All in the same year, all garnering a similar level of acclaim. And when you look back at the year that was, you can't help but notice the trend that most games that were highly publicized and sold well were mostly primarily single-player experiences. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Donkey Kong Bonanza, the Elden Ring standalone expansion Night Rain, Death Stranding 2, I can go on. Even things that were less successful, like Silent Hill F, was still extremely successful by the standards of the series it's part of. And you can go back to any given year over the past decade, maybe, and it's the same story every year. In 2024, for example, the critical and commercial darling was probably Astrobots, and I'm not even the biggest fan of Astrobot, but I still consider it a positive step forward in a lot of ways. Like E33, it was a well-designed game made by a small team of passionate creators with a reasonable development cost that came out, charmed audiences everywhere, and sold a good amount of copies. The only negative thing I have to say about the game is the fact that I wish it had more of a unique identity all its own rather than being member berries the game. It's been proven time and again that audiences that are actually buying games on a regular basis just want well-made single-player games. As a matter of fact, while this will date the video, we're not even a quarter of the way through 2026, and we've already had yet another prime example of showing what audiences want. At time of writing, Resident Evil Requiem just came out, and it broke the record for most concurrent players on Steam in the history of Resident Evil.
Crazy.
That includes the remakes of the most beloved games in the series, possibly of all time. And the sad fact is, Sony, more than any other company in the gaming industry, should understand this. They should be the ones most willing to make single-player games. Why is that? Because what have been the most successful games under the PlayStation banner, almost without fail? Single-player, narrative-driven, action games. That has been their bread and butter since Uncharted 1. Like, how hard is it to make games for your audience? Nintendo understands this,
He
and
shot
despite
him
any
in the
issues,
head, bro. Did
they're
a
killing
whole
it right
front
now, and
flip
I'm not
off
even a
the
fan of Nintendo's
waterfall.
current output. I can admit that me not vibing with their output is entirely on me. Like, I cannot contain my absolute contempt and bafflement at the idea that they thought a God of War live service game would be a good idea. God of War is my favorite franchise, and you know what would have happened if that game came out? I would have played it for a few hours, I would have made a video on it, and I would have never touched it again. Guaranteed. Because as a God of War fan, I'm not interested in that. That's not something I've ever come.
It's like, how would it even, like, how would this game even run? God of War live service. What would it be, a gacha? They'd be like, hey man, you wanna roll for a 5-star Aphrodite, and then you could use the Aphrodite. Hey man, 5-star Zeus. You wanna roll for a 5-star Zeus? Now it could be a role play turn-based RPG. Kratos goes first, Zeus goes second, Aphrodite goes third. Like, what the fuck kind of shit is this?
To the Series 4. It reminds me of back when multiplayer mode became a big thing in games, so suddenly almost every game had to include a multiplayer mode, no matter how superfluous. People apparently have fond memories of, for example, the God of War Ascension multiplayer, but it still died within a couple of months because, well, that's not what most God of War players come to the Series for. many such cases. So this whole situation is like that, except blowing it up to an absolute extreme. So congratulations, Sony. You wasted hundreds of millions of dollars and an entire console generation, and you have almost nothing to show for it. Do I still consider myself more of a fan of the PlayStation brand?
And that's another reason why I'm not even rushing to get the 6, and I don't even want the 6 to come out anytime soon. Peeps, like, whenever I hear Sony bring that shit up, like, hey man, we're looking towards the horizon of the PlayStation 6. I'm like, bitch, still release shit for the 5. Still work on the 5. What do you mean the 6? And you already know, I'm calling it now again. When the 6 comes out, the most that they're gonna add to it is probably a better GPU, a bit more RAM, and it's gonna have some big AI neural processing unit in that bitch. I'm calling it now. They're gonna put a giant AI neural processing unit in that shit, and the AI is gonna start beating games for you, bro. Because they already talked about that shit a little bit, where they're like, hey man, well, what if the game plays itself for you? I'm like, what? I'm gonna walk away and I'm gonna come back to my PlayStation with a platinum trophy. Like, oh damn, it did it for me. Damn. We're getting Persona 6 with Smell-O-Vision. I'm gonna be like, yo, Dojima, when he comes home and I'm there with Nanako and she's like, welcome home, big bro. I'm gonna smell cigarettes. I'm gonna smell the Dojima cigarettes.
Compared to other options on the market? I would say so, yeah. But at this moment in time, I'm more of a fan of their legacy content than I am of their current output. Do I think in a vacuum the PlayStation 5 is a good piece of hardware? Yeah, I think it's a solid console for what it is. But Sony's handling of the PlayStation 5 has been among some of the worst I've ever seen. They've earned every single one of those no games jokes. I'm not sure how common this sentiment is among people outside of the internet. I guarantee it's a sentiment that's popular on the internet, but those are two very different worlds. The PlayStation 3 initially flopped hard because of its restrictive price point. The fact that it had no games was entirely down to its difficult hardware, and it was exacerbated by the lack of player base, making early third-party titles non-viable. But there's a part of me that believes that this generation has resulted in a hit to the goodwill among their audience, and I think that will result in the sales taking a hit in the next generation. And if that does come to pass, Sony's cynical attempt at trying for the real-life infinite money glitch is the reason why it might just happen. Even for me, somebody who's traditionally been a PlayStation fan, it will take a hell of a reason for me to want to buy a PlayStation 6 at this point with how badly they burnt me.
That's exactly what I meant. Because for them to be like, yo, PS6 coming out, I'm not even looking at that console. Like, my eyes are like this right now. They're going to be like, yo, PS6. I'm like, huh? PS what? PS6? And that's another thing. Like, if they even release the PS6, how that shit going to look? Because I remember the memes. Remember the memes that came out with the PS5, bro? They said that shit looked like Seto Kaiba's collar. How are they going to make the PS6 look? What's the difference in the PS6? Bro, but watch. They're going to do some bullshit where they're going to be like, PS6. Kingdom Hearts 4 console exclusive. Yo, you know how mad I'm gonna be, bro? I'll be so mad if they did some shit like that. Cause now you're forcing me to cop this shit, bro. I'd be fucking furious. I'll have even
less of a reason if they end up doing simultaneous PS5 releases like they did with the PS4 this generation. Am I confident in saying that this is the worst generation in the history of PlayStation, and this is the sole reason? You know what? Yeah, I am. There's nothing wrong with having games be supported post-launch. Look at Monster Hunter Wilds.
You say you'd rather get a Switch
game, but it's still supported
than a
like
PS6?
One. So yeah, if a game is successful, support
bro,
it.
Fuck
Nintendo. Give DLC, just for the love of
God.
God.
We got a Switch 2 and we still don't got themes on the console. Bro, like, fuck Nintendo too. These dumbass motherfuckers, they're like, yo, use your cell phone for voice chat. Bitch, that's the point of the console. Why can't I just talk? Why can't I just plug my headphones on the Switch and just talk via voice chat? Nah, bro, you need to be in an app on your phone. Then you got to hook up the headphones to your phone, but my phone doesn't have a headphone slot, so I got to connect it via Bluetooth, and now I got to make sure that the Bluetooth pairs properly with my phone in order for you to pick up my shit. Bro, come on.
Know your audience. And to the gaming industry as a whole, for fuck's sakes.
The console does have a VC. Does it? I don't know for sure. Also, yeah, you Nintendo Switch 2 owners, y'all about to lose y'all voice chat privileges soon, unless y'all like subscribe to Nintendo Network.
I just want good single-player games. But I guess treating your customers like people instead of wallets on legs is apparently alien to a lot of money-grubbing publishers who will never not believe that they're going to be the exception. That's all I've got. If you like this video and want to support the channel, you can leave a like, subscribe, tell me what you think in the comment section, and hit the notification icon so you're always up to date on what I'm doing. I've been the King of Snark Style.
Oh my God!
And I will see
you gonna end the video with that nasty ass bacon shit sizzling again? Get me out of here, bro. Yo, this guy, bro. Who does this guy think he is with the bacon? It's so funny how Tobey Maguire is a lousy voice actor in Spider-Man movie games, but he locks in for this scene.
Lab's all yours. I'll see you in the morning. Good luck.
Can't hide your secrets forever. I'll find out what you are.
Hello? MJ? What do you want? No, I haven't found out anything. Don't call back.
He's so angry at MJ. I haven't found out anything.
All those tests and nothing.
Oh my god! He's a vampire!
You ticked me off on the wrong night, Count.
Lab's all.
Damn, you ticked me off on the wrong night, Count. Kid Icarus Uprising released 14 years ago. I think it's time for another revival. I don't think so. I'm sorry, bro. It's been 14 years. I don't think Nintendo is confident enough for this shit to have a re-release, bro. I don't think Nintendo confident enough. You said at this point Sakurai's done. Facts, because look, I'm not gonna lie. If the fan base, or not the fan base, if the game was as loved as much people said as it is, it would have had a remake or a re-release already. It is what it is, bro. Who's gay? Damn, bro, he over there with Senna? Shit. How can it be homophobic? My gayest bitch. Damn, bro. Senna's so bad. Yeah, she really good looking. I like it when her hair's curly though. Like she got like so many different archetypes. She got straight hair archetype, forehead archetype, curly hair archetype. I like the curly hair archetype. The straight hair archetype, I'm not really feeling that one. Let's continue.
So how do I know you?
Oh,
I heard about this old drama.
Hello, Papa.
Damn, 500 biddies?
But something a little different this time. This guy makes Mario Kart memes. Link.
Yo, thank you, Al, for the 500 biddies. Let's see this shit, man. Let's see this shit. Damn, and you know what's the best part? This is Mario Kart 8, a game that I do own, and I could play at any given moment. We don't know when. This is a game I do own. What happened to freaking... Oh my god. Damn, he died. This shit is not loud enough. Is that an inkling? Falling from space? Who animated this shit? Bro, nah, these 3D animators are demons. You could just do whatever the fuck you want.
What the fuck?
Oh my god. Nah. 3D animator, give him a prize. Yo! That's the type of shit that would happen to me live, bro, on my soul. You do a boost jump, that little lip, that little nipple right there would just launch you, bro. Yup. I'm stuck there forever. I'm in 12th place.
Watch your jet, bro. Watch your jet.
Watch your jet, bro. He ate all the bananas. Oh my god, bro. I feel like I'm watching me. I feel like I'm watching me play right now, bro. This shit driving me insane. This is me. It's like everything bad's happening to bro. Oh god.
What's up, baby?
You missed me.
Ready, guys?
Oh my god, the lightning, bro. This is the shit that some of y'all in chat be doing. Just waiting. You see the way he waiting, bro? Oh my god, bro. Damn, you saw the bomber? Ugly ass Waluigi. Oh my god, bro. Yo, who animated this? Nah, bro. This guy, yo, if this guy's doing this shit by himself in these videos, these are clean, bro. Those little animations, those 3D animations he's doing is clean. Oh, Gustav! Gus! That's literally me. That's literally me. In the middle of me losing the race, I get hit 2-3 times. Once I see 6, 7, you already know the face I start hitting. I start looking back. I put the bitch in reverse. I hit the one up. I start backing up. Just start backing up the vehicle, man. Get me out of here. Get me out. Oh, Yakuza. Never mind. Fuck all this bullshit. What the fuck? Clean.
Small 30-second bonus of chat to you. Link.
Yo, 100 biddies from Owl, my brother. Oh God, Owl. Thank you. Damn, bro, that's a jump.
Dude, this car's ass.
Bro, what kind of goon ass? Motherfuckers, straight to the screen, bro. Yo, you know Afro straight sniffer. He said,
Dude, this car's ass.
yo. Bro, and you saw how far Lakitu brought him back? That's the type of shit that make me just, like, quit out the game, bro. Look how far he brought him back. Oh my God, bro. Oh my God. The last goon. The gooning epidemic is sad. Hey, bro. Hey, bro. Thank you, Owl. That shit crazy. The last goon. The last goon. 7 minutes. 7 minutes is all the time that I have to spare with you little fucking bitches.
7 minutes. 7 minutes is all I can spare to play with you.
Oh! Big explosion. Shivahuri!
Screamer isn't subtle. Screamer is neon-soaked, maximum volume arcade racing that requires both the finesse of Wipeout and the tactics and aggression of Mario Kart, where dicing for position demands that you at least try to think offensively and defensively at all times, requiring the use of both sticks to fling your car around corners, plus actively shifting the semi-automatic transmission at the perfect time to build crucial boost energy. It's also a fascinatingly busy racing game. Confidently different, Screamer makes a good case for itself in a genre rarely recognised for a great deal of innovation, despite being let down on occasion by a few dud tracks that slow the pace down too much, some unbalanced missions in its central tournament mode, and no clear characters to really care about in its story. Screamer's twin-stick racing mechanics see the right stick used to dictate drift angle by swinging out the rear. The pendulum-like effect is a little overly pronounced in a few of the cars, which makes me disinclined to drive those ones, but it remains a pretty approachable system in the majority of vehicles. You have to engage with it. You get mild steering force with the left stick, enough to navigate shallow bends, but if you try to take a sharp corner without using the right stick, you'll simply understeer like a whale on a roller skate. Beyond its unconventional steering, Screamer draws inspiration from fighting games with a power-up system driven by 2 linked meters. In simple terms, one is for boost and the other is for combat, and you fill the combat meter by using the boost meter. In action, however, there's a lot of granularity to the system. Each character, for instance, has meters split into different amounts of sections, and each has distinct strengths and weaknesses when it comes to boosts, attacking, and defending. It's an interesting juggle, even if some of the characters have drawbacks that make them a poor choice for some of the tracks. For instance, one character who will explode if he clips a wall while in the attacking strike state is typically a deeply annoying choice for any particularly twisty tracks. The twisty tracks are by far the weakest, as they take the pace of the racing down too much as you stab the brakes to cater for the constant switchbacks. As quick as Screamer seems at top speed, it's surprisingly soggy at low speeds. In contrast, the more open tracks, full of straights and sweeping constant radius corners, are a hoot. These are definitely Screamer at its full potential, particularly the incredible looking neon-lit rain-soaked urban circuits.
That one looks cool. This map looks clean.
The cars too are fantastically designed, and each one looks like they've driven straight off the frame of a 90s anime. They're characterized by colourful liveries, wild time attack style aero, and imaginative flair. I particularly like the pop-up brake lights featured on one of the vehicles. Subtle flourishes like that suggest to me developer Milestone had a lot of fun bringing them to life, and it gives the cars real character.
They look good.
Final lap!
Why would Anaconda Corps care about winning some racing tournament anyway? Sure, a cash prize is nothing to them.
Screamer invests heavily into its story mode, which follows 5 race team trios competing in an ostensibly illegal contest hosted by a weird man in a mask.
The rich extend their lives to unnatural lengths.
The bulk of the characters competing appear to be pop stars, astronauts, and private military contractors rather than actual racing drivers, and the whole thing seems to be managed by a single mechanic who doesn't know how shirt buttons work, and he's apparently sentient dog who can drive a car.
What?
What?
This all feels a little odd and small scale, considering the prize is an eye-watering $100 billion, but it does sync up with Screamer's overt anime-inspired aspirations nonetheless.
$100 billion is a lot of money.
The sharply illustrated characters and accomplished cutscenes are very impressive, and the anime sheen Milestone has added here is not an afterthought. You can see the significant investment on the screen as you play, from its sizzling intro to its crisp and colourful cutscenes. It also boasts a lengthy script. Seriously, some of these people won't stop talking.
Just get in your cars.
Fuck Egypt.
It is a nice touch having the characters speak in their native languages and still understand each other, a phenomenon that's explained by some kind of universal translator chip.
Il hiberne pendant des mois, mais...
Yeah,
I did, however, miss the meaning of a bunch of early dialogue because I had subtitles turned
this for the story
off.
mode?
I'd anticipated that with the game language set to English, that would just turn off the English subtitles, but leave them on for languages other than English. However, that wasn't the case. They were just off entirely.
こいつはもちろんレプリカだが
Screamer does feel very much like a passionate adaptation of a hypothetical anime series, which is perhaps unsurprising considering the direct involvement of Japanese animation studio Polygon Pictures. The partnership has paid off in this regard because you can really see it. Unfortunately, in many ways, it feels like an adaptation of Season 4 of that series. The story fills in some of the gaps later, but I otherwise found the opening stanza to be a non-stop salvo of character introductions and a lot of overly dramatic huffing and puffing about things that happened in the past that we, as the audience, are completely in the dark on.
जेम्स को हमसे बेहतर कोई नहीं जानता था और उसने कभी रित्सुको का नाम तक नहीं लिया, है ना?
Characters are either anxious and brooding.
What if she never wants to see me again?
Or twee and extra.
どうしてそんなに綺麗なの?
And I quickly found it pretty exhausting how much they moan at each other.
And what do you feel? Sad?
The story also jumps across all 5 teams, which made it impossible for me to warm to anyone anyway, really.
I have no patience for tantrums.
Screamer leans into its story immediately. Indeed, the first string of events you'll play are the initial handful of story missions. Only after completing these will you finally be able to back out to the main menu. I'll concede that funneling us directly into the tournament has merit, as it does essentially function as an initial tutorial, and this complex brand of racing honestly makes a tutorial crucial. It does, however, temporarily obscure the impressive breadth of the overall package. Screamer boasts a lot of additional ways to play it beyond its curated story-based tournament mode, but there's a non-zero chance that some people will bounce off before they see the rest of what it has to offer. It'll really depend on your level of patience for mashing through angst-riddled anime characters bickering, flirting, and pointing at each other.
The f***
Bro,
are you slapping about?
I feel that, bro. Sometimes you're just like, bro, I want to play the game, and then sometimes the cutscenes be mad long. You're like, yo, bro, I want to drive.
The uneven difficulty of tournament mode may emerge as a source of real grief for some players. On regular difficulty, I found myself able to punch through most events in one effort, but there are some I found noticeably trickier. For instance, one event required me to chase a dog through one of Screamer's twistiest tracks. All I would have to do is land one successful attack on the dog's car, yes, it's driving, and it'd be mission over. However, the dog was annoyingly perfect at negotiating the bends and was able to consistently maintain a gap no matter how well I drove. Bored of literally spinning my wheels, I simply stopped on track briefly and blasted the dog once he lapped me. Was this method anticipated?
He cheated.
Was that what I was actually supposed to do? Either way, the solution makes this
mission
mission
I waited
feel
till
like
the
a
dog
waste
did
of
a
time
lap
for all
and I
parties involved.
lapped. He lapped me.
There are other events that are simply too prescriptive with their objectives to remain enjoyable. One such race will require you to win it, but also take out 2 Green Reaper team members as you do so. But you can't take anyone out while leading, so you'll need to let them overtake you. However, they may not be in second place either, so you'll need to let other people overtake you too. And you shouldn't take them out because you'll need to save your finite takedown juice for the Green Reapers. Oh, and also in this race, the Green Reapers team don't have green icons. The Green Reapers are blue.
That makes no
It's
sense.
a bit of a miss. I
'Cause
don't
if
mind
they're
a
the Green
challenge, but I'm
Reapers, have their
skeptical
names
of
in green.
arbitrary ones that don't make a lot of sense.
They're like the Green
The good
Reapers.
news
Let's
is
put their
that,
names in
as
blue.
mentioned earlier, Screamer features a welcome stack of other modes if the tournament becomes too tedious. Arcade mode, for instance, features an excellent array of options and modifiers to create exciting custom races of your own. It goes well beyond simply adjusting the amount of laps. You can change the rate at which your power meters fill, force all cars into the explosive overdrive boost state, or even shut down offensive attacks for pure racing. There are also a variety of challenge modes with global leaderboards, online racing, and even 4-player split screen.
Oh, wow.
4-player split screen
We got
in
4-player
2026.
split screen.
Somebody needs to send Milestone a fruit basket for that alone.
Yeah, that's crazy. I feel like I haven't seen a
Screamer
split
features a strong
split screen
suite of
game in
accessibility
years.
features too, from a variety of color blindness filters, an offline game speed slider, and even the ability to totally remap the controls for one-handed use. The latter deserves particular praise considering how fundamental using both sticks is to playing as intended. It's admirable that Milestone still baked in a workaround. A blazing, tumbling, and anime-infused collision of weapons-based racing and drift-happy driving, Screamer is potentially what you'd get if you locked Blur in a room for 12 months with nothing but a Crunchyroll subscription. Fabulous to
That's
look at
funny.
and confidently assembled, it's a challenging arcade racer with a clear identity to call its own. It's true that Screamer's high-speed thrills may be mostly nuded on its twistiest tracks.
You know what
Several of the
sandbagging
cars
is,
feel
Ronan?
more sloppy to drive than others. The central tournament mode makes some noticeable
when
missteps with
everyone
its difficulty curve.
purposely
and its
drives
cast of
slow so they can
emotional
get the better
anime
items and
dandies
beat
do
your
quickly
ass.
get pretty tedious.
Scrape yourself on a rake, get tetanus, and die, Dirk.
However, with a nuanced twin-stick control scheme and a surprisingly involved combat system to juggle, it's a satisfyingly busy and demanding racer, and its extremely customizable quick races and 4-player split screen make it a great racing option to have in your back pocket for playing with friends around.
My God, he blew up 3
For
people
more
at
recent
once.
verdicts, you can check out our reviews on Slay the Spire 2.
Not bad, not bad, not bad at all. Chainsaw Man, the manga series, is officially ending soon. I'm gonna skip everything because that looked like that was a spoiler in there. Was that a spoiler? That should look like it was a spoiler, but I completely skipped that shit. It wasn't? I'm good. I'm still not gonna look at it. Let me see.
3, 2, 1, go.
Beyblade. Oh, he gonna launch himself out. Oh. Yeah, he bursted that one. That was insane. New study has identified post-game depression as a sadness players feel after finishing a video game. It was revealed effect is particularly strong after completing an RPG. That was me. Trials of the Sky, bruh. Beyblade X. Shut the fuck up. They got this motherfucker that hits the... Oh! They got the Beyblade X motherfucker? What is this? Chain Incendio? What? They about to have the blue motherfucker hit the fucking Beyblade X. Oh my gosh, bro. The owner of OnlyFans died at 43. Wait a minute. Why he died? That's kind of scary. He's only 43. That's young. 43 years old, and he was the creator of OnlyFans? Uh-oh. Somebody was after him. I don't know, bro. You're a grown-ass man. Just eat the damn onion and tomatoes, ho. Let me see. Oh, he just randomly posting this shit. Okay. The Sega Mega Drive bag from the insert coin is back. Oh, that's kind of tough. Oh, that's kind of tough. That's nice. That one employee that hates his coworkers.
Hey, boss, I can talk to you for...
This motherfucker. Working in IT is funny, but not funny because why did this motherfucker create a ticket saying that he couldn't open Google Chrome? And when I remoted into his computer, this guy was on Google Chrome Googling Google. Yo, this happens all the time, this type of dumb shit. Okay, a world of high paying, only those who know will get it. Yo, he's skipping on that water. Oh my god, even the sky. The fucking horse. He had a random horse. Regular show The Lost Tapes. Regular show The Lost Tapes coming May 11th? No way. They're releasing like what? Like episodes that never made it on air? 7 dogs stolen from their owners have gone viral after escaping the captors and making their way home. The group is believed to have traveled around 17 kilometers together, led by a corgi. No way. That sounds like the plot to a movie. High school. I'll probably make more friends in university. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, bro. If you're in high school with this mentality and you're not making friends in high school, yeah, university is not gonna get easier. If anything, I feel like in university they're gonna be a bit more like to themselves. You know what I mean? They're all neighbor dogs. Damn. The item from Nikkei pop-up shop and Animon are now online for pre-order. Hold on, let me make sure nothing crazy pops up. I better not see no nipples. Oh, I think this was the page I remember. Nep showed it to me. Bruh. They had Nikkei having a pop-up shop and I'm nowhere to be found. And it's always in California because, look, I get it. You know what? At this point, Nikkei devs, I get it. New York City does suck balls. So if you guys don't come here as often, I fucking get it, bro. They rather go to California. Oh my god, Viper and Doro. Bro, look at the buttons. These are cute as hell. Look at these charms. 12 doubloons. God damn. The Dora $1 shit, not for sale. Joke's on you. I already own one and it's right there in that bag. I haven't opened it yet, but I own one. You could buy music? They got the music CDs? Oh, bro, I want this little baggie. Look at Noise. Look, a little E-leg on the side, and they got Made Privity. Bro, I want that bag. You could get little plushies of this shit. Bro, I have to get my arms more built, bro. I want to wear a commander suit with sleeveless with like a sleeveless shit. And then when I'm taking a picture with like some of the model girls, I just want to flex, bro. Short ass commander with muscles, bro. Short ass commander with muscles, bro. Like Johnny Bravo. But 4 feet 2 inches. Me going as Burning Gum. I'm Burning Gum. I like to go to the store and eat some bacon, egg, and cheese. This is the cute shit. You could get a cute ass. I want these. And you could put them in a bag, bro. You could get Privity, E-leg, Noise, Viper, Dorothy, and who this? Who that one? Am I tripping? Who that last one? These are nice, bro. Is that Crown? Oh, Baby Crown. Baby Crown, Baby Crown. Look at the commander right here, bro. Look at the commander. Commander fucking killing me. Yo, some of these girls, bro, when they cosplaying, they be wearing these boots that be giving them like 6 inches of height, bro. Some of their soles are like this thick. I'm like, oh my God, you got some grave stompers on. Holy shit. And they be the same motherfuckers that be like, oh, you're so short. I'm like, bitch, you got 6-inch boots. You need a short stack too? Yo, bro, get yourself some. Bro, if I had some 6-inch boots, I instantly go to damn near 6 feet. My short ass. Man, not bad, not bad. You need taller than me? Probably. Hail Mary. Many beautiful wide-angle shots like Interstellar. The plot was solid. You gave this movie a 9 out of 10. I didn't even know this movie came out. Hey, bro. I gotta start watching movies again. Asmongold ends up battling a bush in Crimson Desert.
So here's the strategy. I'm gonna go in on him.
Oh my God! That bush took his ass and assaulted him sexually. He put him in the bush and hit him with a... He said, pung, 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 pung. Red, bro. Yeah, bush back shots. It was on site. He hit him once and he just started mink, 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 mink. Cult classic. I did not play this shit. It's not a classic to me. It's being reported that Crunchyroll had a data breach. On a positive note, I don't have no card information on my shit. Everything is done through PayPal. So on a positive note, they have none of my card information because I went through PayPal and it's going through my PayPal balance. Bro, hasn't Crunchyroll gone through this shit already? Isn't this like the second or third time they got breached? You said they got my IP? What they gonna do with my IP? They're gonna come to my house and be like, hey man, you watch anime. I'm gonna be like, bitch, I know. Bitch, I know. That's why. Oh, bro. Speaking of muscles and shit, I saw that latest episode of My Hero Vigilantes. The way All Might sprung into action, bro, I was geeking. We coming to NYC and watching My Hero Academia in my crib. I am here. Oh, God. Lord.
Another year around the sun for me today. Thanks for the amazing streams always, Mr. Streamer. Love you and stay hydrated.
Damn, bro. Thank you, Star-Lord.
I can't speak for the breachers, but if I got my hands on your IP, Satan couldn't stop me from the things I would do.
Owl, I don't know what that means. Owl, you're scaring me. I don't know what that means, Owl. Thank you for the biddies. But you're scaring me, buddy. You are scaring me. You are scaring me, buddy. Shit. Thank you, Owl. Thank you, Star-Lord. Happy birthday to you, Star-Lord. You said it was your birthday. Hope you have a happy, happy birthday. Hope you have many more years. Happy birthday to you. Yeah, I got a little bit chilly, bro. New York City's weather, bro. I hate New York and its weather. It was just warm. Now it's like chilly as hell again, bro. Hella chilly. Chilly Willy. Chilly Willy. Chilly Willy. Chilly Willy. Let's see. The breach happened on March 12th. We're able to pull 100 gigabytes of personal identifiable data, IP addresses, email addresses, and credit card details. Oh my God. Crunchyroll hasn't publicly disclosed the breach? Bro. No way. They got everybody's shit like this? Country code city, Brazil, India, they got every motherfucker that. Oh my God, bro. This is a hot cup of ass. Happy 30th anniversary, Resident Evil. This shit, the volume is low.
What is a 1 out of 10 anime?
Yo, chat, I think I talked to y'all before. I hate when motherfuckers at anime conventions make these videos where they be like, Goku or Saitama, Goku or Eren Yeager, Goku or Sora Indigo, Goku or Fabrinsky, Goku. I hate those fucking videos, bro. Like, I feel like my brain's melting when I watch that shit.
Promised Neverland season 2.
Oh my God, it's Oxy.
They wrapped up the whole manga into one episode at one point. It was really bad.
What's a 2 out of 10 anime?
Seven Deadly Sins. I'm a big fan of fan service because my favorite anime is One Piece. It was a little bit too much.
What's a 3 out of 10 anime?
Seven Deadly Sins had too much fan service.
In the Franks. I feel like it falls off after episode 6.
What's a 4 out of 10 anime?
Sword Art Online season 2. People are like, oh, Alanized is really good. There's other Sword Art Online renditions.
Sword Art Online season 2. I barely remember that show. Like, honestly, I gotta rewatch it. But I remember some weird shit was happening in the show where like where like I think what was his name? Kirito was in the world, and then something about like his sister wanted to fuck him, and then come to find out the sister wasn't like blood related to him. It was just a lot of shit. I was just like, I don't know what the fuck's going on, bro.
We're not talking about that. You know what we're talking about.
What is a 5 out of 10 anime?
Tokyo Ghoul Season 2. The manga's better.
6 out of 10?
I love Fairy Tail, so Fairy Tail.
What's a 7 out of 10 anime?
Neon Genesis, and I only give it 7 because I didn't like.
You said, brother, that was part 2 of season 1. You see? That's how you know I don't remember shit. So then I guess part 2 was the part where they turned it into like a gun game. You see, I don't remember shit. I'm gonna have to rewatch it.
But they continued to make movies. The first movie I liked, the second movie I liked. But after that, dude, you lost me.
8 out of 10?
JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. I love all the characters. I love all the...
No cap, I gotta get back on that shit. Not on stream because I don't know if I'm gonna get killed by Warner Brothers or something. I would love to watch that shit on stream, but I'm scared I'm like my channel's just gonna get wiped. I would love to watch that shit though.
villains. The villains are so evil. I love them.
What's your 9 out of 10 anime?
Bleach. Unfortunately, at the time, it was very common to have so much filler in between. Bleach needed to be a little polished, but Thousand Year Blood War is definitely anime of the year.
What is your 10 out of 10 perfect
It's
anime?
the One Piece.
One Piece, easy. That was so easy.
What is it that you love about One Piece?
I didn't have friends growing up, so I love that like Luffy's whole role in life is to have friends. I could talk about a million moments of why One Piece is just my favorite anime of all time.
Nah, One Piece is good. Like I said, I'm only on Thriller Bark right now. I feel like somewhat halfway through Thriller Bark, but I haven't continued it because I'm watching all the other shit right now. I caught up today with Hell's Paradise. Hell's Paradise, that episode, the way that shit ended, bro, they going crazy right now in Hell's Paradise. Vigilantes, I'm caught up. Vigilantes, how it's going right now is great as well. I feel like Vigilantes is about to finish again. Hell's Paradise feels like it's about to finish as well. Yeah, and I kept watching Shangri-La Frontier. But I feel like I'm about to catch up with Shangri-La Frontier because they made it seem like each season was like 20-something episodes. And right now, I'm almost up to the 40s in episodes. So I feel like in totality, I'm about to like reach that shit. So I'm like, damn. Yeah. Might break the NDA by posting this, but I got invited to the eBay kitchen beta and everyone needs to see this. What? Delivered, available by a bike. Batch of 24 chocolate fudge brownies warm. Hell no. Spicy chicken noodle soup family portion. Serves 4 homemade. Hell no. You're just gonna take random food by random motherfuckers on eBay? Hell no. Hell no. You said why not though? I don't know, bruh. Doesn't that seem random? Dylan, are you just take food from anybody? You don't know what they put in their food? That seems a little crazy. eBay just lost a lawsuit for having like 10 of their employees harass someone. I think a seller. They might literally gang stalk you for this. He said gang stalk.
No. I guess that was.
Bro's playing Melee.
My bad, really.
What's
Watch
that,
out for the claptrap.
2v1?
Oh my fucking god!
Double claptrap knockout. That's crazy. That's goofy. Bakugo is way too strong. My Hero Academia Death Battle. I don't even gotta watch it. You spoiled it for me. Ba 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 ba.
I want my priceless 1925 first edition Felix the Cat comic book, you comic book stealer!
You'll never see it again, because I'm gonna sell it to a communist country!
What the fuck? What the fuck am I looking at? Just a home screen, bro? Like what is this? Hey, at least you got the backpack. Oh, you took the baby. Nah, nice. No way! Luffy's head. cat. Cat's like, hell no. Got that one little duck. Oh my god, I didn't even make it down the hole. No, bro, never. You think I would rock this shit? This is a Nintendo Fiend item, bro. I don't love Nintendo this much.
The painting you're looking at right now was created in 1841, and its title is Pandemonium. In it, we see Satan standing proudly after building the greatest palace in hell, where he will gather with all the demons of the underworld. He observes his immense creation from a cluster of rocks surrounded by boiling lava, while a bolt of lightning strikes in the background as if celebrating such an infernal occasion. In the distance, like tiny armies, we can see rows and rows of followers marching in praise of their leader, waiting for the order to finally approach him. John Martin was a master of creating monumental and extremely dramatic paintings. Throughout most of his career, he focused on biblical stories filled with apocalyptic landscapes and exceptionally dark settings that make us feel incredibly small, and this painting was no exception. Pandemonium was not a place imagined by the artist. In fact, it is the name given to the capital of hell in the famous 17th century poem Paradise Lost by John Milton. Published in 1667, this epic poem tells the story of Satan's rebellion against God, his fall from heaven along with his followers, and the subsequent creation of hell. But what makes it truly extraordinary is the way Milton humanizes Satan. In this text, Satan is not portrayed as a simple evil figure, but as a complex, intelligent, and proud being who prefers to reign in hell rather than serve in heaven. In the opening cantos of the poem, Satan awakens after his fall, looks upon the abyss around him, and decides to build a city there, a majestic place destined to become the center of his infernal empire.
This is an old painting? Tell me not, chat. You see where Satan is at? Chilling in the middle and everybody's surrounding him? Doesn't this shit look like a Kanye West concert? This is how Kanye be having his concerts. He be having like a mound in the middle just like this, and everybody be surrounding his shit. Nah, bro, like no kizzy. This shit like high-key reminded me of like a Kanye concert. That's how his shits be looking.
The city is given the name Pandemonium, and this is precisely the scene John Martin chose to capture in his painting. This was not the first time Martin drew inspiration from Milton's poem. In fact, for more than a decade, he produced engravings based on Paradise Lost that became extremely popular in their time. In them, his characteristic style was already evident, filled with colossal landscapes, biblical cataclysms.
It's crazy that you're sending me something like this, because I remember one day I was doing like a random deep dive on like very old like paintings. And bro, like some of the old paintings that I've seen where like there was this one painting where a motherfucker talked about where it was like, they said it was like the most evil painting, that they banned the painting. Something about because the painting was going up against Islam as well. Like it was like a crazy ass painting that somebody painted. And they put that shit like in a place, and they were like, yo, we don't show this shit to anybody. Because it had to do with like hell and shit.
Stormy skies and tiny figures overwhelmed by the monumental. His imagination seemed tailor-made to portray the epic visions of ancient texts. Pandemonium was the last work Martin dedicated to the Miltonic universe in 1841, and also the most grand. In it, he not only represents a key scene from the poem, but also brings together everything that obsessed him as an artist. Chaos, glory, destruction, and of course, the opportunity to depict all of it on a gigantic scale, as if the viewer were witnessing.
I can't lie though too, if you ever go to somebody's house and they got one of these dark ass paintings in their house, you gotta give them a bombastic side eye.
Now, although the inspiration for this work comes from a purely fantastical vision, its architecture is not entirely invented. In fact, if we look closely, the general structure of the building at the centre of the scene strongly resembles the Palace of Westminster, the same one that today houses the British Parliament, and that is no coincidence. John Martin was living in London when the new building began construction after the fire of 1834. The entire city was aware of the project, and the Gothic revival design proposed by Charles Barry became a major topic in the urban landscape. Martin, as an artist deeply interested in the monumental and the dramatic, found in these real structures the perfect inspiration to imagine the capital of hell. When you place both buildings side by side, the similarities become striking in the rhythm of the columns, in the geometry of the facade, and of course in the overall grandeur.
Yeah, it kind of
does.
does.
The most noticeable difference is that in the lower part of the building, Martin added a series of arches that raised the entire structure above a river of boiling lava. And on the facade, if you look carefully, you can see carved figures of coiled serpents, giving it a much darker appearance, because we are no longer looking at a human construction, but at an infernal temple. As for the river flowing beneath the scene, it is not just an aesthetic element. This incandescent current is a symbolic and rather direct representation of the River Thames as it existed in the 1840s. At that time, the river was a genuine sanitary threat to the population. London faced constant cholera outbreaks, and its waters were so contaminated by human and industrial waste that the smell could be detected from several kilometers away. It was, quite literally, a foul and dangerous river. What is most interesting is that years before painting Pandemonium, John Martin had proposed an ambitious infrastructure plan to clean up the city, a network of sewers and canals that would have prevented many of the diseases that later devastated the population. However, no one took him seriously, and the proposal was rejected. So Martin, likely frustrated, decided to transform the problem he was not allowed to solve into a vision of what hell itself might become as time passed. When Pandemonium was first exhibited in 1841 at the Royal Academy in London, not everyone was impressed. The painting received mixed reactions. Some viewers were dazzled by its scale, its drama, and the ambition behind it, but others found it excessive and even ridiculous. One of its most well-known critics was John Ruskin, one of the most influential artistic voices of the era. Ruskin had a very particular idea of what art should be. He believed it should be sober, moral, closely connected to nature, and rooted in spiritual values.
This motherfucker. Art is whatever you want to make it. This motherfucker said, nah, bro, your art sucks because your art is not about nature. Man, shut your bitch ass up. Fuck you, John. That's what I'm saying. He out here talking about, man, your art's not good because there's not enough leaves.
And for him, the works of John Martin fulfilled none of these ideals. He even went so far as to describe Martin's paintings as pantomimes of the apocalypse. Although that is a harsh criticism for any artist, it also tells us a lot about how the painting was perceived in its time. Pandemonium did not fit
Look,
all
I low-key fuck with it because it's like every time you see one of these paintings that look like chaos and pandemonium is happening, I be instantly thinking of like the book of Revelations when we come to the Bible, bro. Like where chaos starts going crazy and everything starts getting fucked up, the end of times. That shit is low-key cool when somebody, I feel like, comes with like a vision of it and they decide to paint it.
Standards. It was too big and too scandalous for many academic tastes, but in my opinion, that is precisely where the power of this painting lies. While other artists aim to represent the divine, the beautiful, or the realistic, Martin chose instead to portray chaos and destruction. Now, beyond everything we have seen so far, there is one element I haven't shown you yet that makes this painting even more incredible and elevates it into a true masterpiece, and that element is its frame. John Martin also designed the frame. Its ornamentation is carved with
Oh, he made the frame too. The frame tough. He got like snakes on this shit and it looks like snakes with wings.
Dragons, and fantastical creatures that visually continue the horror unfolding inside the scene. It feels as if the painting cannot contain so much darkness, and it begins to spill outward.
That's cool. Where's this shit located at? Where's this painting at?
This detail, which many people don't know about, shows just how much Martin conceived his work as a complete, immersive experience. Today, Pandemonium is part of the collection of the Louvre Museum in Paris, hanging in a gallery alongside other 19th century works, but it unfortunately does not receive much attention. Few visitors stop in front of it, and it rarely appears in lists or recommended tours, which is almost ironic considering how much this painting communicates, and not only about the past. Because beyond its literary inspiration, Pandemonium can also be read as a modern critique of urban arrogance. Martin watched his city rise on sick foundations, and he portrayed it as what he feared it would become, a modern version of hell. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. I would love for you to leave your thoughts in the comments, whether you had seen this painting before, and of course, if you think there was any detail I missed in the analysis, feel free to share it down below. If you would like to have this painting in your home, you can find it through the link in the description.
I think this is the actual guy that I saw that other video of, where like he talked about the world's darkest painting, where it had to do with like they were talking bad about Islam in it, and then like it got banned. Yeah, I think this is the guy. He makes pretty good YouTube videos. Like if you ever want to look at art, like he brings up like a bunch of art pieces. And it's also like the way they did art back in the day, where like the human anatomy, they were crazy. Like they drew everybody in a specific way where I'm just like, yo, they were very observant of the human body. Though, especially the way they drew women. Like they went crazy with them curves and shit, bro. You said I actually took a picture of this when I went to Louvre? That sounds dope. You said it's just furry and anime titties. It just kept going? It just kept going?
What happens when an anime remake is just as bad or worse than the original? I give you Shaman King, a popular series that had not just one, but 2 failed anime adaptations. The Shaman King manga released in 19...
Yeah, wasn't the Shaman King supposed to be gas? I remember this was like a classic anime. Whatever happened to the Shaman King?
1998 alongside One Piece and kinda carried Shonen Jump until Naruto and Bleach took over. However, while the big 3 anime adaptations were super popular, Shaman King's anime fell flat. The anime was incredibly slow paced and so littered with filler that it had to have its own anime original ending, forcing the anime to actually end even before the manga did. 2 decades later, it was announced that Shaman King was getting a remake. Fans were ecstatic until the series dropped and it somehow had worse animation than the original did 20 years ago.
What?
The new series also overcompensated for the original's bad pacing by squeezing 300 chapters into 50 episodes. And so, despite being in the top 100 best-selling manga of all time, Shaman King fell into obscurity. That being said, it's still one of my favorite manga of all time, and the manga is definitely worth the read.
I might read the manga. I'm not gonna lie, I fuck with the art style. Like, Shaman King look cool as fuck. You look cool as fuck. Japan is using... Oh, this is old. You said, what the fuck? Bam, your life is a... Whenever you say, what the fuck, what's gonna happen? Oh, it's the girl who does the thing. She's gonna be in Sims? Lo-Fi Girl? Man, Lo-Fi Girl getting mad collabs.
But yeah, it looks like Free Run Season 2 has now dropped down to number 5. Damn. The fall off is crazy, guys. I've heard that there has been drama over the top rating on my anime list. Prior to today, I had heard that with 1 episode, Steel Ball Run came to take the number 1 spot of the top anime series of...
Over Full Metal Alchemist, brother. Yo, hold up. I gotta activate my bots. Hold on. Mass. Dislike. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. No. Nobody topping Full Metal Alchemist. I got the bots ready. 1,000. Hold up. Bro, like, what, bro? Like, are you kidding me? This shit overtook...
of all time, and within just a few days it has already been dethroned once again by Full Metal. No, actually, sorry, it's the modern day. It is Sousou no Frieren is back on top. Look, as much as we are joking about it and clowning on it, history just likes to repeat itself. This is something that has stayed within the anime community since when we started getting into anime, because for the longest time, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood held on to that crown for decades until Frieren came along, defining the new age of anime fans. And I feel like this was the point that we transitioned over into another age of anime fandom. And so before that, anything that even remotely got above Full Metal Alchemist got downvoted to hell. And now it looks like anything that gets above Frieren gets downvoted to hell as well. But I will say, probably deserved in this situation, because as much as I love JoJo, and as much as I think that Steel Ball Run is going to be absolutely fantastic, do I think any show should be the top show of all time with 1 single episode released? Probably not.
Probably not. It makes no sense. Because it's only 1 episode released. You gotta wait for all of them to come out so then you could come out with a conclusion to say if the show was great or not.
Do I think you should be allowed to vote on shows that literally just have 1 fucking episode out?
Yeah, that makes no sense.
Seems kind of skewed to me.
That makes no sense.
That to me just screams rabid fan base voting on a show before it's even over. The adaptation may suck. Who knows?
No, that's true. We was only 1 episode. That's like me watching an anime opening and then I'm like, yo, nah, this show is peak. This show is peak, bro. I didn't even watch episode 1. I just saw the opening and I'm like, you know what? This opening, the show is better than anything y'all have ever watched. Your favorite waifu is trash because this new show that I'm watching, that opening was peak. That's insane. Japanese man gets stabbed for being bald. That's how crazy. Yo, he said, "You bald mother." Yeah, what?
As a certified 31
Shout out to Joey.
1-year-old Unk who has fell off low-key. One thing that I am genuinely, I guess, happy and proud to say is
that I'm not bald.
That your boy has a full head of hair. My grandfather, my Japanese grandfather, went pretty bald, not even thinning, just straight up bald at the age of, I believe he was like 26, and as someone who takes after him in the bloodline, my family for the longest time used to make fun of me being like, oh, granddad went bald at 26, looks like you're next, motherfucker.
You know, that's true. That happened to my cousins, right? My cousins, their dad was bald. And everybody used to tell my cousins, yo, y'all about to be bald. But so far, my cousins are like in their 30s and they still got a head full of hair. One of my cousins, he kind of looks like his hair is thinning a little bit, right? But he ain't bald. But then you could tell he a little bit thinning, but he ain't bald. He still got a big ass head of hair. So I don't know, bro. I just feel like, I don't know, bro. Genetics.
That scared the shit out of me. I'm not even gonna front. Like, every single day, I thought to myself, oh god, it's coming. Like, my hair is going to fall out one day. I'm gonna be bald as a bat. Thank god that I can at least grow a beard. And now, look, this is not me, like...
True.
When's Bald Pro returning?
True. He was like, you know what? Thank you for the prime, baby. Thank you for the prime. Yo, but true on that. Where it's kind of like, if I do manage to end up going bald and I'm clipped, I could have a goatee, I could have a full ass beard if I want to. I at least have something I could go off of. But man, there'd be some guys out there where unfortunately they're bald at the top and they can't grow a beard, bro. I'd be like, if that shit happens, bro, you're literally just gonna look like Saitama. You're just gonna have to just shave your face and make your whole shit like baby ass smooth. That's it. And just go hard in the gym and just try to get some anchor arms. Try to make your chest and back look nice.
Coming onto camera here and just doing like a full frontal attack on every single bald motherfucker who is watching this video, right?
You say you wear beanies and hats
or a
because
woman,
I'd be cold.
I'm not judging, who doesn't have any hair on his head. Who
Summertime,
cares, right?
you're probably
If
gonna see my hair more.
A lot of people I
because
know
I'm not gonna
can
wear a
rock
hat in
the bald
summertime.
look, and I'm really fucking jealous of that because
Oh no, I'm lying. I got my AC in here blasting on me, and then I'm
when
cold.
I go bald eventually, because I will start to thin eventually with old age, I'm probably not gonna look all that good. So I'm protecting this for the time being. And I don't think it's to anybody's surprise that there are also a lot of people out there who really enjoy it when their partner, their person of interest, has no hair on their head. That's completely cool. I know a lot of girlfriends who are really into guys who are bald and can like grow a beard. It's like a manly lumberjack look. And the same thing definitely exists in Japan. But this article that I found, really makes me worried for my bald brothers and sisters out there.
With
because
scissors.
holy shit.
She stabbed bro with scissors. Like freaking Genocide Jill. Genocide Jack. Victim alopecia as excuse for domestic violence. She said, Your Honor. They had her at the fucking podium and she on some fucking Phoenix Wright slammed the table. She said, Your Honor, I stabbed him because he was bald.
This is in-fucking-sane. Woman stabs 26-year-old certified public accountant to death with scissors. Victim's alopecia as an excuse for domestic violence. Oh my god, I'm laughing. I'm sorry that I'm laughing. This is.
It's like I want to see the footage of the courtroom. Just hearing that shit out loud. Your Honor, I stabbed him because that big shiny ass bald head. I thought of that one movie, SpongeBob, with Captain Neptune. Prince Neptune, bald, my eyes.
A serious crime because somebody has passed away here, but holy fuck, the idea that it was because this man was apparently bald that led to his death is absolutely fucking insane. So we gotta read through this article and see how the hell this all happened and unraveled. Kotomi Sato, 26, accused of causing death by assault after stabbing her then-boyfriend, also 26, in the neck with scissors, is facing a lay judge trial. By the way, this is Google Translate because this is a Japanese site, so apologies if it sounds kind of weird from time to time. While the defendant claimed it was an accident, the Tokyo District Court found the crime to be intentional and sentenced her to 12 years in prison.
Bro, you kill somebody and your excuse is they're bald and you say I accidentally stabbed them in the neck and you only get 12 years? Hell no. Only 12 years?
Which, for first-degree murder seems really fucking low.
Yeah, that's a slap on the wrist.
I don't know, man. I feel like, depending on the severity of the crime, you could easily get life in prison and stuff like that. I've seen a lot of, like, courtroom videos and shit like that from, you know, other Western countries.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's a slap on the wrist. That's like a metal ruler on the wrist. Like a big-ass, rah, that shit hurt like a bitch. But, man, 12 years... You chilling in the jail, you getting free rent, free food from the taxpayers' dollars, and you get probably a free gym at the jail. You know what I'm saying? And then you get out after 12 years, and then you get to kind of like be like, yeah, I did kill somebody, and I got out.
Countries where simple first degree murder can get you up to life in prison. So I don't know about you, but 12 years in prison for first degree murder and hate crime towards bald dudes seems pretty fucking low. But okay, the trial revealed a bizarre relationship that could be described as
but watch somehow you get a
violence,
life sentence for weed.
Aggravated by
for real.
alopecia, was exploited to keep him under control. At around 7 p.m. on Saturday the 16th, 2024, the defendant called 199, which is Japan's 911, at the man's request. He performed CPR while calling out the man's name, or she. But the man...
That's really the 911 number in Japan? 119? Oh, I would have been clipped if I was over there in Japan. I would have been spamming 911, and I'm like, why isn't nobody picking up?
And died at the hospital where he was taken. The defendant was arrested on the spot on suspicion of attempted murder and later indicted on charges of causing death by injury. The case seemed like a simple one, a knife fight between a couple.
There's a reason why Japan has a high conviction rate.
You said it's not as nice as the article makes it sound. There's why Japan has a high conviction rate. Damn, bro, I didn't know that.
Living together, but the defendant denied any intent during the trial, claiming that the defendant, who was holding scissors, and the man got into a scuffle, and before they knew it, the stabbing had occurred. The prosecution noting that the fatal wound, which was caused by scissors with blades around 8 centimeters long, was about 6 centimeters deep.
Damn, 6 centimeters? That's kind of big, chat. Yo, 6 centimeters? That shit kind of big, chat. Chat, 6 centimeters kind of big, chat. Chat, 6 centimeters. Yo, that shit is kind of big.
Argued that the defendant raised the scissors and then
Nev said that's not 6 centimeters. Nah, you right. Hold up. That's 6 centimeters. Hey.
Swung them down. Oh my god, that is like a fucking Danganronpa execution, bro. Like 8 centimeters long, scissor blade.
That's not 8. Nah, Joey. Like this. Joey.
About 6 centimeters deep. That's most of the scissor, just straight into the neck. Like, how do you accidentally stab an entire pair of scissors into someone's neck? Like, you really got to be like pushing that motherfucker in.
Oh,
it
says centimeters.
That deep. So bit of a weak argument there from the murderer, but all right. According to the defendant's explanation during questioning, the defendant, who is originally from Yamaguchi Prefecture, moved to Tokyo in April of 2019. He quit his job soon after and lived off a variety of part-time jobs while becoming obsessed with host clubs. It says he here, but this is a mistranslation. The defendant is a she, obviously.
Oh, she?
She continued to give large sums of money while getting into debt.
What is this, a Yakuza? Oh my god, this is literally a Yakuza sub-story. Bro, I'm literally hearing the and then the fucking little screen pops up, and then Kiryu popping up. Bro, we're about to hop on that bitch soon.
And around the summer of
Bro.
2019, at the suggestion of her host, she began working at a dispatch-type adult entertainment establishment. I always thought I had quit this lifestyle, she said, looking back on the time.
Man.
See, host clubs.
You say you just did
coming
that
to the
side
picture
story. I'm
once
telling you.
again, here to poison young women's minds, especially a lot of those who are coming from a more rural area where that culture doesn't necessarily exist, and then they come to...
Yo, but I can't believe how crazy those what's that shit called? The host clubs. Bro, nah, man, that shit is crazy profitable in Japan, and people get like really stuck in that shit. What is that like the equivalent to in like the United States? Host clubs in Japan is equivalent to what in the US? That's like drinking? OnlyFans? Oh yeah. It's like OnlyFans, but the good thing about the host club is at least you get to see the person and talk to them and kind of touch them. Yo, I'm not gonna lie, girls, y'all gotta, shawty's doing OnlyFans. Y'all lucky that y'all don't gotta like meet or like talk or touch anybody. You know what I'm saying? Unless y'all one of those girls that be like, hey, I'm gonna meet you in this address and I'm gonna give you this ass. You know what I'm saying? Like girls on OnlyFans, they could do their little dances, throw their ass back a little bit and shit, and they just getting paid and they don't gotta meet nobody. You see, they generally don't let you touch like that. I mean, obviously not like that, but I mean, like, if you meet somebody in a host club and then you get kind of close to them, they could kind of maybe wrap their arm around you. And I feel like, little signs of that, because you're getting like little minor touches, you're going to probably be like, oh shit, she touched me. Oh, fuck.
Big city, the big Tokyo, and get swindled by a host that they have fallen in love with, unfortunately. We talked about the whole downfall, I guess, of the host club industry in Japan, which if you guys haven't seen that, I'll leave that in the description
there's a downfall
below if
of
you
it?
want to go check that out. But this is when host clubs were still pretty much in their prime, and this kind of whole mental manipulation tactic that a lot of these hosts and host clubs used was also causing this woman to maybe doing, say, some unspeakable things. In January 2014, she met the victim on a dating app. He was a certified public accountant who worked at a major auditing firm. They began dating a month later and soon began living together. In April, he confessed to her that he was wearing a wig to hide his alopecia, which is completely acceptable.
I mean, true. Look, it happens, bro. It happens. And if he was wearing a wig, it is what it is. You gotta accept him for who he is, because guess what? There's shorties out here wearing wigs all the time, right? Let's keep it a bean. Just because bro don't got a full head of hair and he wearing a wig, I think that's fine. Girls do it all the time, and we don't say shit about that. You know what I'm saying? There's no issue.
Has alopecia. It's not like he chose to have alopecia.
Exactly.
It's not like one day he's like, went up to a counter and was like, yo, give me your finest alopecia. Like, to a lot of dudes, right?
Give me your finest
Baldness
alopecia.
Is very, not great. It's not a great look. A lot of men don't think positively about going bald, especially when it comes to things like alopecia, right? So if a man wants to wear a fucking wig to hide it, good on him.
I think that's fine.
That's his fucking choice. If you don't want to wear a wig and you just want to rock the bald look, you can do that as well. But I mean, fuck. Like, first of all, good on him for actually, like, confessing and being like, hey, I don't want to hide this from you, but my head bald as fuck. I have alopecia. A respectable person will look at that and be like, thank you for telling me. I still love you regardless.
Yep.
Or if they're not into the whole bald look, if
They'll
they're
let
not
you
into
know
the whole
right then and
alopecia
there.
look, then, simply saying, oh, I can't do this anymore,
Yeah.
and walking away from the relationship is like the most common thing. You don't need me to explain this shit.
Exactly.
But apparently, during questioning, the defendant revealed that he was 99% accepting of his hair. But
Wait, so she was 99% accepting of his hair?
line exchanges revealed in court gave a glimpse into how he was manipulating her by exploiting her weaknesses. Oh yes, 99% accepting of his hair. What the 1%?
Yeah, what was the 1%
that was not accepting somehow led to the death of this
Yeah.
man? If that isn't the most crazy girlfriend shit imaginable, then I don't know what is, bro. You're too bald. Dog.
That's
He has
insane. She's capping. How the hell you gonna say I'm 99% accepting and then your next sentence after that is you're too bald. I prefer someone with hair after all. Damn, bro. You could have just You could have just told bro off rip, and then he could have just found another shorty that probably could have accepted him for his bald head.
Alopecia! That's what that means! The defendant, annoyed by the man's trivial behavior, broke up with him and waited to see how things went. After the man apologized, the defendant continued to demand apologies at every opportunity, assaulted him so badly that his face swelled up, and monitored his behavior, strengthening his control.
Yo, bro. She was abusing bro too. She was like, you're bald, and she was minking him up. Man, we in 2026. You must be out of your mind if you think a girl gonna mink me up. I'm sorry, bro. That's all I'm gonna say, bro. You must be out of your mind if you think shorty gonna just start minking me up and I'm just gonna start taking it there. Mink, mink, mink. Oh, hell no. Hell no. You gonna see that one Pokemon move. What's it called? Retaliate or revenge or some shit? Man.
We had a set routine, the defendant recalled, adding that the man would always apologize first and never resist. Oh my god.
So she was just abusing him. We had a set routine, the defendant recalled, adding the man would always apologize first and never resist.
This poor dude who has alopecia, who was
just getting
brave
abused
enough to think that he could trust this girl with, you know, coming to terms with his alopecia and, you know, maybe hoping that the girl would be acceptable of that, instead turned around and kept constantly demanding apologies. Apologize for what, motherfucker?
Apologies. She kept on demanding that he had to apologize for being bald. Bro, at that point, bro, I hear stories like this and I'm like, thank you, God, I'm single, bro. Like, don't get me wrong, bro. I wouldn't mind having a shorty, but I hear shit like this and I'm like, thank you, sweet baby Jesus. I don't got to deal with nobody.
For being bald, on the day of the incident, the defendant and the man got into an argument while out over a trivial incident. The man, who is usually quick to apologize, was acting a little differently than usual. The defendant repeatedly threatened the man, saying, if you don't calm down, I'll post a photo of you without your wig on social media.
Bitch! Wow, so you're gonna go to my Twitter and post in my Discord. You're gonna everybody in my Discord and post a bald picture of me, Baltro? Wow, you're gonna have Mewtwo, Digital Kanakuro, Synchro, and Travent with a bald picture of me? You bum.
And I've already posted it, but the man became increasingly resistant. What a fucking psycho bitch.
She an asshole.
Like, Jesus Christ. Like, just break up with the man.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. Just break up with him.
Also, you know, I don't want to, like, victim blame here, obviously, but the man should have just walked away.
Yeah,
at
true.
this point.
True. As the guy, too, he should have just walked away from that relationship. But I'm not gonna lie, bro. Sometimes people be in this, like, headspace of, like, oh, if a person treats me like that, it's because they really love me, and that should be happening in relationships where they'd be like, oh my God, they're treating me like shit. That means that they actually care about me. Oh my God, they actually do love me. And I'm like, no, bro, they treating you like shit, and you should not be accepting said shit, bro.
You are getting beaten, like, physically and emotionally as well, and also apparently blackmailed as well.
Crazy.
Being like, you know, this poor man who just wants to hide his, like, baldness just suddenly turns around and goes like, can you not share the fact that I have alopecia? I'm very sensitive about that. And then your partner going like, I already have, motherfucker.
Bro, and then the court knowing all this information. The court knows this information because this is obviously in a document, right? You telling me the court read all this shit, heard all that shit that she said, and they say, you know what? 12 years is okay. 12 years? If I was the judge, I would be like, bitch, you getting 50. You getting 50 just for being an asshole.
Like, just walk away, bro. He should have just walked away, but I guess it's too late for that now. I thought he would calm down if he saw the scissors, so I brought them out.
She brought the weapon out. She went up to him and she was like, you're bald. You better say sorry, or I'm gonna tell everybody. You better say sorry right now. Say sorry that you're bald. Say sorry.
Calm down. What do you mean? Pointing a pair of scissors at a man with alopecia does not mean, I wonder if she's gonna give me a haircut. It probably means I'm about to be fucking stabbed. So what?
Son. You ever seen Mario 64? The way Mario swing Bowser? Yo, if a shorty tried some shit like that with me, bro,
Why would you possibly think that would calm him
bro.
down? That's like if I walked into the kitchen
Yo,
with holding a fucking kid.
Yo, she catching the strongest of hands. No punches is being held, bro. I'm breaking ribs.
Knife and asking my
I'm
wife
on
to
Twitch.
calm
In GTA, bro, in GTA, in a scenario where I'm about to get killed.
down. Like, she's not gonna be like,
Bro,
you're right, King, I am gonna calm
straight
down.
up, bitch, you
The
think you
defendant
gonna
explained
grab me?
what happened after he returned home. We stood there for about 10 seconds trying to pull on each other, and then the next thing he knew, the man was bleeding from his neck. As there were no injuries on the man's body
Oh
that
my
would
gosh,
be seen when
bro.
defending against himself against an attack, his lawyer argued for his innocence, saying it cannot be said with certainty that he swung the scissors. In his final statement, the defendant reiterated that she did not stab the victim of her own volition and said, I will atone for my wrongdoing by living a calm life without relying on others from now on.
Get out of here, bro. You kill somebody and then that's your statement? I will atone for my sins by living a calm life without relying on others. Nah.
What? She turned to the man's mother, who was...
That sounds so stupid. Yo, I just committed murder. You know what, guys? Here's gonna be my punishment. I'm gonna stay home every day. I'm gonna spark live on Twitch and play video games for the rest of my life. That's how I'm gonna atone for my sins. Y'all gonna look at me like I'm crazy. Twitch partner Senpai Retro has been back. No!
God forbid someone clips this and begs for your ban to Twitch. Ah yes, this man said he would harm women. Very misogynistic, Twitch patriarchy.
Owl. Don't tempt me.
Okay, let me stop. Oh God, thank you, Owl, for the
also
biddies.
in court and bowed deeply, saying, I'm sorry for taking a precious life. If
He
you
said,
could say
"I don't got
sorry and
shit."
get away with it, then we wouldn't need the police now, would we? And yeah,
Yo.
you will be living a calm life behind bars
Yes.
because you're a psycho bitch who killed a poor man who was just trying to hide his alopecia from the world and thought that he could trust you, and yet you turned around and gave the biggest act of betrayal possible.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you killed the man. So... yeah, dude, fucking, how many years did she get? 12?
12.
Not enough. Not enough. This
Crazy.
woman is fucking insane, dog. In the ruling on the 21st, presiding judge Shoji Miyata largely accepted the prosecution's argument, saying of the man, he was still young at 26 and had already achieved the qualifications and employment he had hoped for, with many possibilities opening up for his future,
Wow.
and pointed out that it goes without saying that the consequences are grave. He also said that the man cannot be said to be facing up to the incident, and he claimed during the trial that he did not remember any inconvenient aspects and handed down a sentence of 12 years. Okay, so the judge was like, yeah, this girl was crazy, this poor man was innocent, 12 years. 12 years.
But 12 years is a little bit, bro. It should have been like 20 minimum. 20 in minimum.
Dude, she's going to be out before 2040. This crazy woman who killed a man because she couldn't get over the fact that he had alopecia, couldn't just simply walk away from the relationship, is getting 12 years for taking an innocent man's life. What a fucking joke of a system. I mean, I've continuously commented on just how fucking
that's crazy.
Stupid and double standardy the whole jurisdictional system of Japan is. I can't even say the word, I'm so angry. You know, like... for example, Japan really not giving a fuck about any like sexual assault crimes against an adult or a minor. You know, we've seen that multiple times, especially with the recent Shogakukan stuff that's been happening. Like, and
Well, I don't
now
even know about
apparently
that.
killing an innocent man gets you 12 years in prison. You'll be out before 2040, don't worry. Like, seriously, what a fucking joke. This woman, I think anybody and everybody who is watching this video and who has followed along this story can agree that this insane woman definitely deserves more than 12 years in prison. I think she should at least be double that, if not more. But hey, that's just my thoughts and opinions about it. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. And shout out to everyone who's watching this video who has alopecia, who is accepting of it all. You're beautiful. You're wonderful.
Yes, chat. If you got alopecia or you're balding a little bit, you're still beautiful to me.
Never let any psycho bitch with a pair of scissors tell you otherwise.
Facts.
Anyways, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to smack my face right here, subscribe to the channel.
Oh, I was about to smack his face. Damn. W. Joey. Spanish Netflix user reports that when searching The Bible 2, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 7 Steel Ball Run shows up. La Biblia 2. Steel Ball Run. JoJo's.
Okay.
Best cosplay I've ever seen.
You get it on Amazon. It's called a Pixel Web.
Oh, that's cool. She looks like she's waterbending.
It's a little toy to play with at concerts and stuff.
That's cool. Look at she waterbending.
Thank you.
That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Turned 32 today. Got him on the next Nikkei event. Who? When I was a kid, I dreamed of becoming a game developer and working at Blizzard. I didn't make it there, but I did end up making a game. It's a coffee shop management sim where you can date baristas. It's 50% off on Steam right now. Say on God. I can get a thick barista? I am not looking at the top 10 SpongeBob video games like I'm gonna play all them shits like I'm doing a marathon. Dante and I did a deep dive on Spider-Man's Brand New Day, the movie trailer, and it's an hour long. Yo, I'm Dante got it. This guy is the king of making a 2-minute video into 3 fucking hours. I don't know how he does it, bro. And mind you, sometimes when I'm watching videos, I get sidetracked sometimes, right? Like, I know this. But the way bro gets sidetracked, it makes absolutely no sense to me. How do you go from a 2-minute trailer to an hour and 2 minutes? It's insane. And then you got Rage in there too?
2 weeks ago, I asked you guys for your...
You motherfuckers, you sent me this shit again. The unpopular Jack. I am not looking at Jack no more. Let's go. I'm like, another Jack and Daxter Sly Cooper Ratchet and Clank video? No mo. Marvel Tokon?
Congratulations, citizens of planet Earth! Your bravest and most violent fighters will compete in a tournament. But what happens if they lose?
They all die. Did the Earth just explode?
Truthfully, you don't want to lose.
Excuse me, this whole tournament thing,
Spider-Man!
destroying the Earth, not a big fan. Huh. There's more where that came from. Alley-oop.
Who the fuck is voice acting Spider-Man? It's not the OG. The Amazing Spider-Man! Where's that guy?
Ha! Sorry. You got this, Ms. Marvel.
Bye-bye! Thanks for giving me the chance, Spidey. You're up against the defender of Jersey City herself. Ha!
Look out! Eat wet! Mr. Spaceman! Boom! Legendary outlaws on the scene. Rocket boots, kick it! Hit, yeah! Nothing like a barbecue. Let's tag team.
Kapow! Say hi! Who is this person with the amazing robot? Konnichiwa! I'm Penny Parker.
Penny Parker?
Another universe.
Spider and I are a super fighting team. Gadget launcher!
Can we do this?
Oh, you're the Star Guy.
It's Star-Lord. Come in, Milano!
Are we in space?
Your chance to shine, kiddo.
This will do it. Come on, everyone.
I'm in orbit, Quill. Too easy. Bam!
Big fish coming in. Spider, activate.
With great power comes a great beatdown.
Together, we can achieve anything.
Huh.
Yeah.
Damn, she clapped him. August 6th. Oh my god, you get to be a duck? Pre-purchase bonuses. You could be like, are these like the little avatars that you have in the overworld, like when you're gonna battle each other in the hubs? I think so. Damn. Is that Storm? Shit. She's looking kind of, Shit, bro. She look kind of good, bro.
PlayStation.
Yuta beats the count, but you see Moxley heaving for...
Bro, you showing me this bloody ass match. Bro's face is drenched in blood right here, bro. You about to get me banned on Twitch, brother. What the fuck happened with Thomas the Engine?
Guess you just did. No problemo! You can run, but you can't hide! I'm back! Say hello to my little friend!
He grabbed his stuffer? Oh my gosh! What the hell is this?
What? No!
I feel like I'm missing out on some lore. I don't know what I just watched, but I'm not gonna lie. That whole part where all the trains started crashing, I feel like if you show that shit to a kid who loves Thomas the engine shits, he might start crying. Cause he's gonna be scared as fuck. He's gonna be like, what is happening? Why are all the trains crashing? You show that shit to a kid? Yeah. You said, thanks for that idea. Yo, if somebody manages to show that footage to a kid and you actually genuinely get like a sad reaction, send it to me. Cause bro. You can weigh the packs?
I'm indestructible. Nothing can bring me down. I'm gonna rise above it. Wear my strength like
no way.
I'm indestructible. Walls begin to fall. Gonna conquer battles. Standing strong and tall. Keep spinning fast.
Supreme X Spider-Man 2026. This is fucking tough. But you know this jacket is minimum $400. This is tough. And this is like the Spider-Man from 2000. The early 2000 one. And they got the black one. Oh, that's tough, bro. The fuck are you sending me?
Now that sounds like two visitors. One is Sonny for...
Bro, what is this, bro? What is this? You sending me out of context shits.
Buffalo wings, please.
You want to do a basket or a bucket?
Just a basket. Can I have the fried...
Is that spicy wings?
Pickles.
Yo, anything else?
And then for main, the huge wheat. Is it good? Is it a good 12-inch or is it...
Solid 12-inch. I mean, if you want 12-inch to me, we have to go 3 rounds, but...
Is it a male 12-inch or a female 12-inch?
It's a male 12-inch. You can cut it in half, do 6 in the front door, 6 in the back.
24-inch.
It's just 12. Onion, all that stuff?
Yeah, go for it. Is that on like a hot dog bun then?
Yeah.
Use 12-inch for me then? What is it? Just fries and stuff?
You're gonna find a lot of options.
Very nice, was it? I'll go for the broccoli, corn on the cob.
What's your choice? Sour cream and bacon, and a little bit of the secret sauce.
Why did you wink when you said secret sauce?
You'll be able to know in the taste.
Ew, that sounded bad. Why is this the thumbnail? Lady got a whole glozer. A glizzy glozer.
Championship for slapping himself in the of chops and head. He has to do and show the mellow heads.
Watching with drag appreciates especially his mother.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. Talking about wrestling, bro, what is happening with Ricochet and his girl all over the feed? Yo, there was this whole drama with Ricochet telling the girl, like, yo, I'm glad you have this condition. And I was like, yo, he crashed out. Yo, cause I feel like everybody on Twitter, you said Ricochet's the boy who cried wolf. Look, Ricochet, I felt like was getting so harassed on Twitter, and he had a demon moment where a girl started harassing him, and then he went on her profile, and then he saw that she had a medical condition, and bro, legit, his clap back was, he was like, I'm glad you have that medical condition. I was like, nah, he went straight demon mode, bro. Ugh. I ain't gonna lie, bro. He going crazy. Also, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like one of the dumbest decisions in terms of Ricochet and then his girl. What's his girlfriend's name? It's not Sarah. She's sexy as fuck, Ricochet's girl. But she should have never quit WWE. Samantha Irving. She should have never quit WWE. I feel like that was one of the dumbest decisions that she did, bruh. No cap. It was the dumbest decisions that she did. She left to do like a whole music career. And don't get me wrong, right? Like her music is good and all. But it's like, bro, working in WWE, you had a guaranteed paycheck. That's a guaranteed check, probably with benefits and all that. And you were getting clout and recognition, and everybody was fucking with you. Don't get me wrong. There was some people that didn't fuck with the way she announced some specific stuff because they felt like she was being performative. But at the end of the day, I was like, I thought she was a great ring announcer. I thought she was very attractive. She's very beautiful. And it's like, bro, you getting guaranteed WWE money. Why the fuck would you lose out on that shit? She didn't want to stay in as an announcer? I don't know, bro. I feel like that was a bad decision. She should have just stayed doing the announcer thing. But I don't know what happened with Ricochet too. Ricochet ended up leaving WWE, and then he started saying a bunch of shit like, I saw like he said a bunch of shit along the lines of that WWE ruined his image. That now apparently like he's been killing it on AEW. He sucks on the mic. Is that what it is? Yo, I'm telling you, when you get into WWE, anybody who ever wants to be a wrestler, bro, you gotta be good on the mic, bro. You gotta have that microphone skill. And you can't stutter too. You know, when you on the mic, you gotta convey your emotions and say everything you want to say perfectly, one take. And you can't stutter. You can't do none of that shit. Because the second you start stuttering on the mic, everybody start looking at you funny. I'm not gonna lie. Especially if you're doing promos, bro. Especially if you're doing promos. Or just have a manager be your mouthpiece. You could. One of the greatest people on the microphone to this day, The Rock. The Rock, bro. The Rock. And also, what is this guy's name? LA Knight. Bro, why have they not? Yo, LA Knight. Why have they not been pushing LA Knight? LA Knight was one of those wrestlers where, like, I heard him on the mic a couple times, and I'm like, yo, I fuck with this guy heavy. You said, didn't Brock Lesnar have a bit of a stutter? Bro, I feel like I'd never seen Brock Lesnar talk on the microphone. It was always Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman is a demon on the microphone. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to introduce to you. Oh, no. He starts off, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. And I'm bringing you. You said, in my opinion, Edge is the best on the mic. Edge is really good on the mic. I remember Edge. Edge is good on the mic. Paul Heyman's good on the mic. The Rock is really good on the mic, if I remember. I'm trying to think of like other wrestlers. Shawn Michaels is good on the mic, you know. Triple H was always good on the mic, in my opinion. Randy Orton is good on the mic. John Cena is really good on the mic. CM Punk is extremely good on the mic. CM Punk, he knows how to push people's buttons. CM Punk, excuse me. I keep saying John Cena. Big Show? You think Big Show good on the mic? I don't remember Big Show being on the mic too much. Same thing with like Mark Henry. I don't remember Mark Henry, Big Show being on the mic too much. You know who's an underrated wrestler that I saw like clips of him recently and I thought he was pretty good? Shelton fucking Benjamin, bro. Shelton Benjamin. MVP, I think, is also pretty decent on the mic, if I remember correctly. MVP. I'm trying to think of, like, woman wrestlers. Becky Lynch, she alright on the mic, but then she got that accent. No. Yo, every time I hear Becky Lynch on the mic, I'm like, yo, get her off the fucking comms, bro. Nikki Bella. You think Nikki Bella? Yo, I don't like the Bella twins, bro. I saw some shit on Twitter where like the Bella twins were talking about like oh, we're not gonna have a send off. I don't know if it was real or not, but the Bella twins, I feel like they put themselves on like a pedestal where I feel like they're not that high in WWE, in my honest opinion. AJ Styles, I like AJ Styles. Bianca Belair is good on the mic. Ric Flair's daughter, I think she's good on the mic too. Yo, Ric Flair's daughter, every time I see her, she looks different, bro. She keeps getting like operations. Like she got a whole new nose. She had like a new cheek, new teeth. Like I almost didn't even recognize her the second time I saw her. I was like, is that Charlotte Flair? Bailey? I'm trying to think. Bailey's all right on the mic. Yo, I'm so jealous of Dominic whenever he walks out with, what's that one girl's name? You know exactly who I'm talking about. That one girl that's with, Liv Morgan, bro. Liv Morgan is so fucking sexy, bro. I don't care. Liv Morgan, sometimes she be coming out with these, like, tight-ass, like, shorts, bro. Like, yo, Liv Morgan be driving me insane. Liv Morgan is so sexy, bro. Trick Williams, whoop that trick, bro. I don't even know who that guy is, but I remember one time bro came out and the whole stadium was yelling out, whoop that trick. And in my head, I was like, nah, this guy got star power. He got star power.
Here, calling the action, Melo Hayes, and a little earlier, exemplify that. Best in-ring version. 3 days.
Bro, it's ridiculous how much I like. I don't know. I'm not going to say I'm the most knowledgeable in wrestling, but I feel like I keep up with wrestling to a point where I'm like, damn, I should have gone to a live show by now, and I haven't gone to no live wrestling shows. Damn. He went with a, what is that, like a Sky Code Breaker? Oh, foot on the shit. You said go to WrestleMania? Hell no, bro. I heard them WrestleMania tickets is bread. Hold on. Let me see this link. Yo, thank you, NepNep, for the 100 biddies, man. I appreciate you, bro.
Do you remember what WrestleMania season used to feel like? There was a
Yo! Oh, we watching this video. WrestleMania season used to feel like that shit used to have me excited, but I don't know, like now WrestleMania, you know what it is too, because WrestleMania back in the day used to be on pay-per-view. So you had to spend a lot of money to watch this show, and then a lot of the time, WrestleMania back in the day was like, if you had that one friend that was like, yo, I'm buying the WWE pay-per-view, everybody would go to that person's house. They'd be like, oh, we all going to your house and we're bringing snacks. We all gonna chill, go to your house, do a bunch of shit, and watch this shit pay-per-view. But it's like now, I feel like they still do that now, but it's like, I don't know, bro. Damn, bro, y'all got me like mad into wrestling and shit. Now Ronin gonna have a field day. Ronin gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna get this motherfucker watching all these WWE shits. Hold up. You said that was me. I held the WrestleMania parties. Damn, NepNep. If I knew you back in the day, I would have been like, NepNep, I'm going to your house. I'm going to your house with my Nikkei bag and my rupee body pillow with the owner hole attachment. Oh my God. Give me a sec. My rupee pillow. Hey, girl, I gotta know, do you got games on your phone? Why don't you just come over? I don't wanna play them alone. Do they still got that song on fucking this shit? Nah, I don't think they still got this song here, bro. MC Virgins is still here. Yes. Yes. A. Hey, girl, I gotta know. Digimon Cyber Sleuth? Y'all be playing any new games? Yo, no cap chat. Hold up. Actually, yesterday, after I played Yakuza for so long, I was so cracked out on Yakuza, I hopped on my freaking Steam Deck and I continued playing Yakuza 0. I was in the middle of that fucking side quest where I had to freaking go with the guy into the store and I had to act like a freaking like key to you. I had to do all these stupid ass like prompts where it was like go into the store, don't drink anything. Make sure that you give your business card to the man because the man had a squatter inside the house. Bro. Fuck that squatter that was chilling in the house, bro. You see I'm playing Yakuza 7 right now? You say I need to add retro on Steam? Yeah, send me a friend request on Steam. Hold up.
Hey, girl, I gotta know, do you got games on your phone? Why don't you just come over?
I don't wanna play them alone.
Hey, bitch, tell me which game is your favorite. Place your response, I'll be same. Or you play Legend of Zelda, whatever is better for you, we can play it. Gaming on my new PlayStation that I got from MC Wasian. Baby, I'm sorry though, I don't got Mario. We can play Pokemon, just got Lucario. I don't need audio, just need the sound of your voice. I can't make a choice. How about say fuck it, we don't need to play any games. Wanna touch your body though, I wanna be Sonic. You could be Amy Rose, girl, I wanna show you off. Don't want you to leave, but before you go, I gotta know. Hey, girl, I gotta know, do you got games on your phone? Why don't you just come over? I don't wanna play them alone. Hey, I ain't never had sex before. I got a bad little bitch in the Benz for sure. I know that I ain't never taking off those shorts. So if you think we gonna smash it, baby, close that door. Hey, I ain't never had sex before. I got a bad little bitch in the Benz for sure. I know that I ain't never taking off those shorts. So if you think we gonna smash it, baby, close that door.
It's been getting pretty hard to keep my dick in my pants. Told profits and the money, man, I need that advance. I'm trying to fuck this cutie, but I got no chance. And I've been getting horny, might have to fuck one of my fans.
Sex is really gross, but I wanna have it. I'm in the bathroom jerking off, that's my only habit. I'm wrapping all this cash around me like it was a jacket. But I can't get no pussy, man, I can't even tap it.
I ain't never had sex before, except for profit. Now we poppin', getting checks for sure. I've been pushing this fucking run to switch a Lexus Sport. I'm saying me and the virgins, we up next for sure. Man, for real, the pussy pink like it's Kirby. But homie, I would never know, cause I ain't doing the dirty. And even when these girls in their 30s and chicks getting flirty, my verses on virgins, my boys are dogs like Vicks on their jersey. I'm saying
I never lose, so you know we never fucking. Cake all around me, call it Baker's dozen.
What the fuck kind of song is this?
A specific moment in the year, usually somewhere around the Royal Rumble, where you could feel it starting. The
Bro, whatever happened to my boy Sheamus, bro? Oi, fella! It's a shame that they lost their head. A careless man winds up dead. Whatever happened to my bro? I'll donate my paycheck for you to play GTA 4. Ronin! Man, shut up. Ronin over here talking about GTA 4. We're watching wrestling, Ronin.
Bigger, the promos getting sharper, that low hum of something building that told you the most important month in wrestling was
it's coming.
You'd start thinking about who was going to walk out of the stadium as champion. You'd be refreshing ticket sites, watching the card come together, talking to people about it at work or at school or wherever you found other wrestling fans. I don't feel that this year. And I've been watching long enough to ask why. Listen, because the easy answer is booking. It's always booking.
Yeah,
and
true.
Yes, the current card has real problems. I will get into those later. But here's what stops me from accepting that as the whole story. The booking has been worse. Much worse. Think back to the late 2010s. Between 2017 and 2020, WWE was putting out some of the most frustrating television of the modern era. Braun Strowman was handed a briefcase full of...
Ric Flair be one of the funniest motherfuckers, because I think he put out a... I saw somebody say that he said something recently. I don't know if it's true. But bro is legit a skeleton. And he like, hey, bro, I still got a few years of wrestling in me. I was like, yo, Ric Flair, stop it, bro. Ric Flair, somebody hits you with a single, like, chest slap. Woo! Bro, whole collarbone gonna shatter, bro. Like, he can't take nothing. Bro, he too old, bro. Ric Flair, I know you still got it in you somewhat, but you too old.
Nothing. Baron Corbin was in nearly every major storyline.
Yes! Baron Corbin was in everything, bro. End of days.
Simultaneously. The same handful of part-timers...
Why was Baron Corbin getting pushed that hard? Did Mr. McMahon love this motherfucker? Was he like one of his relatives? What the fuck?
Everyone the audience actually cared about. Roman Reigns was being pushed through fan resistance that was loud enough to hear from the parking lot. It was genuinely difficult to be a WWE fan during that stretch. And those WrestleManias still sold out. The hype was real. The tickets moved. So
yo, Braun Strowman, what happened to Braun
Something else has
Strowman?
Changed. This video is about finding what that is. The decisions operating underneath the surface, the ones most fans have never
I wish I could buy a replica belt, but my God, it's like $500.
More specific than the creative is weak. It's, well, it's a picture about who WWE is making this event for, and whether that person is still you. Okay, so to understand what's different, you need a starting point for comparison. WrestleMania 30 in New Orleans, April 2014. The night Daniel Bryan walked into the main event through a gauntlet and won the WWE Championship. 75,000 people at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, and the moment he stood in that ring with the belt, the building made a sound that was almost disorienting through a television set. That crowd had been chanting for Bryan for months through storylines that were actively working against him.
He got released?
He showed up in force, stayed loud all night.
He left to make his
and when
own
the payoff finally
eating
came,
show?
They completed it in a way that the production and the performance alone couldn't have.
I wish him the best.
That
I hope
is
it's
what
successful.
WrestleMania crowds have historically given the event. They are louder than any other crowd of the year. They travel far, they plan for months, and that investment
Jerry
comes
the
through in how
King
they respond to
Lawler?
everything, from an entrance to a near fall. Performers talk about working WrestleMania crowds as a different experience because the crowds genuinely are different. The spectacle functions at the scale WWE is building toward because the people in the building are meeting it halfway. And this held even through difficult years for the product. Even when the television was frustrating and the main events weren't what the audience wanted, WrestleMania sold. The belief in the event itself.
Yo, this night, bro, oh my God. When the streak died, yo. You had to be there. Though everyone's reaction that day was just, man.
Durable enough to carry through weaker creative periods.
You said, man, I hated this
built
night.
Over decades through a set of recurring
Insane,
decisions.
dude.
A new city every year, ticket prices that assumed the core fan could get there with some planning, stories built for the person who drove 4 hours and bought the cheap.
It was at the battery
Held
tunnel.
consistently, those decisions gave WrestleMania a weight that outlasted bad booking. The event meant something, independent of any given year's card. In the TKO era, those decisions have been quietly replaced with different ones. Start with a policy that most fans have never heard of, one that is already doing real damage.
Bro, you know what? Yo, I just kept seeing all the champion belts and I just thought of something. What happened to the 24/7 champion bullshit that this motherfucker R-Truth was running around with? Whatever happened with that? That shit is just done? It was just a gimmick? Retired? Oh my gosh.
City hosting the event. Most fans outside of Las Vegas have no idea this exists. Within a 50-mile radius of Allegiant Stadium, no bar, restaurant, casino, or club is permitted to show WrestleMania on the night of the event. A venue willing to pay the standard commercial broadcast fee cannot do so. The restriction is absolute, regardless of a venue's willingness to comply with normal licensing terms. TKO Group put this in place specifically because stadium tickets are not moving fast enough, and the calculation is that eliminating the watch party option will push some of those fans toward buying seats. Las Vegas is receiving up to $6 million from the city's tourism authority to host WrestleMania 42, on top of the $5 million site fee and $4.2 million in tax credits that Nevada provided for WrestleMania 41.
Oh my gosh.
The public justification for that money is that hosting WrestleMania generates economic activity across the city's hotels, restaurants, and entertainment venues throughout the week.
It does.
The 50-mile blackout...
Because everybody who's going to go there is going to have to get a hotel who wants to go there in person. People are flying in from multiple countries and multiple cities and states that have money. Because if they got enough money to pay for them WrestleMania tickets to be in like the front row seats or like in the ground floor where they could like see the wrestlers almost, They got the money to pay for the flights, go to the hotels, pay for all that shit. When it's WrestleMania season or that week in Vegas, bro, all them shits is going to be mad expensive. Everything. Like, bottle of Pepsi going to be $20.
Cuts directly against the premise of that arrangement.
Io
It shuts down the
Sky!
wider participation that made the city's investment make sense. Venue owners in Las Vegas have been vocal about their frustration, and with good reason. One of the genuine benefits of hosting WrestleMania for a city is that fans who cannot afford stadium seats still come to town.
Okay.
They fill the nearby bars, they move money through local businesses for an entire week, they attend independent shows running in smaller venues across the weekend. The blackout policy tells those fans that their participation is unwanted, that the only acceptable version of engagement is a stadium ticket they may have no realistic way to afford. Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select reported that this decision had not gone over well with local establishments, specifically because the city paid to drive exactly the kind of broad economic activity the blackout is preventing. WWE ran the same experiment earlier this year at Elimination Chamber in Chicago, blocking watch parties to sell the remaining 2,100 tickets for that arena show. The result was the same: frustration, bad press, and no visible evidence that people who couldn't afford arena prices suddenly found a way to afford them. The blackout is a domestic problem. There is a separate issue affecting international attendance that most wrestling coverage has missed entirely. Here's the thing. This summer, North America hosts the FIFA World Cup across Canada, Mexico, and the United States.
World
The demand for this tournament has been
Cup!
unlike anything in the history of modern sport. FIFA received 150 million ticket requests in the first 15 days of its registration window.
I'm tweaking. Whenever I see the World Cup, I don't think of Shakira hitting the Zamina, hey, hey, waka, waka, hey, hey. I don't even think of that shit. I think of the Speed song. Speed song is officially the World Cup song in my head. And now, whenever I see a soccer ball and I see Cristiano Ronaldo, I just instantly go to Speed.
From fans in over 200 countries. The tournament was oversubscribed
To me,
by more than 30
Fabrinsky. So what do you sing when you see the World Cup? You sing the Shakira shit? Damn. Fabrinsky probably throwing it back. Zamina, hey, hey, waka, waka, hey, hey. Yo, Fabrinsky. Let me stop. I was about to say, let me see that shit bounce, but let's just continue.
times its total capacity. Some final tickets on the secondary market
Messi
are already
versus
listed
Ronaldo?
above $140,000. Think about who fills a WrestleMania stadium in a typical year. A large portion of the international attendance comes from Europe and South America.
Fab is
from countries
Portuguese?
where football runs
He a
through
football
genera-
head? Oh, shit. Fabrinsky, who your favorite football team? I don't know shit about football. I don't know shit about football except, like, it's a very hard sport. Benfica? I'm about to Google it. Let me see. Benfica soccer. Fabrinsky, you ever gone to, like, the live soccer games? I've always wanted to go to one of those because the way the fans really be out there chanting, bro. The fans be chanting. Oh, that's a cool team. They got, like, red and white uniform. That's a cool logo. It's like a bird. SLB. That's cool. Damn, he said Club of My Heart till the day I die. Hell yeah. You got a bunch of tickets? We got an Eagle too? Oh shit, Fabrinsky don't play. That's his shit.
It is tied to regional identity in ways that have no direct equivalent in American sports culture. For fans from those countries, a World Cup on this continent, within traveling distance in the same calendar year, is genuinely rare. They have been directing their travel savings toward it for months. WrestleMania is an annual event. A World Cup in North America is not. The travel money that would normally fund a transatlantic flight to Las Vegas has been redirected. And this matters structurally because international fans have historically been a reliable floor for WrestleMania ticket sales. They buy early, they travel regardless of card quality, and they fill the sections that domestic audiences sometimes hesitate on. Remove that floor, and the entire weight of filling Allegiant Stadium shifts to the American market. WWE's financial projections do not appear to have accounted for this. At the time of writing, just over 37,000 tickets have been sold for each of the two nights. Roughly 10,000 fewer per night than at the same point last year for the same venue.
Wait, this is for the one that's in Vegas? How the hell they already got those statistics? 7 days ago. Damn. So they said for each night they got about like 30K sold. How much are they aiming for?
Allegiant Stadium is configured for around 45,000 seats per night.
Oh, 45K. So they're off by like 15K. But I mean, 30K each night is not bad.
Meaning WWE is sitting well below capacity with the event weeks away. The total shortfall across both nights is over 17,000 tickets, and the international picture only explains part of that gap.
Damn. So they want it to be like sold out. I mean, obviously, because then that's maximizing profits. But damn, it's much lower than last year though. It's because I heard, I remember last year's WrestleMania, they said them tickets were fucking expensive, bro. They're talking like multiple thousands.
The lost momentum was created much earlier, before a single ticket went on sale. If this is the kind of wrestling coverage you've been looking for, subscribe to the channel and leave a like. It takes 2 seconds and it genuinely helps this work reach more people. WrestleMania 42 was originally going to be in New Orleans. WWE made it official with a press release and an in-ring announcement with Dwayne Johnson.
WrestleMania is coming back to New Orleans!
The Caesars Superdome, April 11th and 12th, 2026. Fans who had wanted a New Orleans WrestleMania started making plans. Hotels were researched, time off was required.
Didn't they say that the WrestleMania was gonna happen in Saudi Arabia? They were supposed to go to New Orleans, but then they pivoted back to Vegas. Oh, so next year they're going to Saudi Arabia? Why the fuck would they do that shit? That bag that they must have gotten from Saudi must have been insane, bro. Damn, fire department going crazy outside. Money?
Requested. Then in May 2025, the event moved. WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas had made $66 million in ticket revenue, the highest gate in professional wrestling history. Las Vegas came back with a bigger package for 2026, up to $6 million from the Tourism Authority additional tax credits and rent-free use of the Las Vegas Convention Center. WWE moved the event back to Allegiant Stadium for a second consecutive year, a week later than the original dates. New Orleans received Money in the Bank and a future WrestleMania commitment. Wrestling media noted immediately that New Orleans had apparently functioned as a negotiating position, a publicly announced venue that generated a higher competing offer from Las Vegas, and one of the only times in WrestleMania history that a confirmed location was reversed after a public reveal.
Oh, so this is the first time they've done something like that where they confirmed, oh, it's going to New Orleans, and then they said, wait a minute, Vegas is paying us more. Fuck it, we're going to Vegas instead. Oh, shit.
The closest precedent anyone could find was WrestleMania 7 in 1991, when the venue changed within Los Angeles itself. The consequence for the event's momentum was direct. WrestleMania announcements normally generate a specific kind of early energy from the host city and surrounding region. First-time attendees, local media coverage, fans within driving distance who finally have a reason to make the trip. Las Vegas, for the second year in the same building, cannot produce any of that. The city that was supposed to get it cannot contribute its energy either. The first notable piece of news about WrestleMania 42 was that it had moved. Then came the pricing. In 2023, the average WrestleMania ticket cost $169.
Okay.
By 2024, that figure had risen to $341.
Damn!
In 2025, it reached $635.
Damn! That shit went from damn near almost $200 to $300, and now that shit jumped to $600. And we ain't even talking about
dollars. For 2026, the average sits above $740.
$740 an average seat? God damn. And you know if you're going to WrestleMania, you're going with the homies. So if you're probably going with like 2 people, 7, 14, 21, that's $2,100, not including hotel, gas, airplane flights, food, merchandise that you're going to buy there. Oh my God.
With premium packages available up to $92,000. That is a more than 4-fold increase in 3 years. To put it in terms of individual seats, the cheapest option in the highest row of Allegiant Stadium currently costs between $264 and $276 per.
Damn! But that's the seats all the way back there, bro. You gonna look at these. Look how tiny that ring look. Hell no, bro. You're gonna be staring at the Jumbotron. Look, I ain't even gonna lie to you. At this point, if you got your seats all the way back the fuck there, at this point, you might as well just buy the damn pay-per-view and watch it from your house. That's what I'm saying. Just watch it from your house. There's no reason for you to go there and see them as ants, and then you got to stare at the Jumbotrons. Hell no, I'd rather just watch it in my house and you got the best seat.
Per night. And that is before flights, which Las Vegas prices spike significantly during major event weekends, before hotels, and before the cost of anything surrounding the show itself. For a family of 4 attending both nights from most American cities, the realistic total cost has moved well past what most households can plan around. And the people who historically created WrestleMania's atmosphere are not the people who can spend freely without thinking about it. They are the ones who saved for months, who watched every week of television building toward this, who know what each entrance means and how long a particular silence is supposed to hold. Their reaction is what separates a good match from something people are still watching on YouTube a decade later. Randy Orton was caught on camera at WrestleMania 41 saying he thought the ticket prices were embarrassingly high.
This is our first Mania. I'm like, you know what, go big or go home.
And WrestleMania 41 still sold 113,412 tickets and broke every gate record in professional wrestling. The prices this year are higher. TNA's Matt Hardy put it plainly on his podcast.
economically, you know, especially since the pandemic, it's kind of been a roller coaster ride for everyone. It's hard to justify.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I haven't seen Matt Hardy talk like this ever. Every time I see Matt Hardy, I just always think of this fucking persona where his hair is all out and he's always hitting this. Delete, delete, delete. This motherfucker talking. He a regular guy.
Much money on tickets for entertainment that isn't something that you have to have in your every single day life to survive and live and be okay. It's a tough sell, but I mean, they're confident. I guess they can do it for another year straight.
An anonymous source near the top of WWE told the Wrestling Observer the same thing, more directly. The audience is there. Are they inclined to pay $10 gazillion for tickets? Recent premium events in Las Vegas have reflected this demographic shift. The seats are filled, and the temperature in the building is different from what it used to be. The audience skews toward people experiencing this as a night out, rather than a destination they counted toward for a year. That difference shows up on television in ways that are hard to point to precisely, but genuinely easy to feel. WWE's response to the sales gap included a 25% discount promotion and a bundle with NASCAR, combining WrestleMania tickets with the Pennzoil 400 for under $300. When the discount launched, ticket movement did not meaningfully accelerate. Both nights remained well below last year's pace after the promotion closed. The promotion taught the audience something specific about how much the premium positioning was worth. Once that lesson is absorbed, it applies to every sales cycle that follows. Pricing is what's visible on the surface. Underneath it, the card itself has a separate problem, one that started with a torn rotator cuff in October. Seth Rollins tore his rotator cuff at Crown Jewel in October, finished the match on a shoulder that was already destroyed, and had surgery the following week. The original WrestleMania plan had been built around—
What's the rotator cuff? I don't know what the fuck that shit is.
4 performers: Reigns, Punk, Rhodes, and Rollins. Rollins defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Reigns on night 2. Rhodes defending the WWE Championship against Punk on night 1. The card had a shape to it. 2 title matches, 4 of the company's biggest names, and weeks of television pointed at specific outcomes. When Rollins went down, the creative team rebuilt around CM Punk as champion, with Braun Breaker as his challenger. The idea being to use WrestleMania to establish Breaker as the next major—
Yo, Braun Breaker hit people too hard, bro. I ain't gonna lie. To this day, every time I see that clip of him spearing Speed, it was overkill, bro. He hit Speed with every fiber of his being, bro.
Time star. Then, on the February 2nd episode of Raw, Breaker suffered a hernia flipping the commentary table.
Who?
To immediate
Breaker caught a hernia? I didn't even know this.
Surgery. Less than 3 weeks later, Bronson Reed tore his bicep during an Elimination Chamber qualifying match. 3 members of the Vision faction out in the span of weeks, leaving Austin Theory and Logan Paul to carry the weight of a storyline designed for a different roster. On the women's side, Bianca Belair had broken a knuckle at WrestleMania 41 the previous April.
Yo, Bianca got the muscles, bro.
Meltzer, was always Jade Cargill defending the women's
championship. Oh my god, Jade sexy ass
against Belair. The reason Jade won the title. The injury stretched into the fall, then into winter, and in February, Belair announced finger surgery. Rhea Ripley won the Women's Elimination Chamber in Chicago and took the spot that had been held open for Belair for almost a year. Kevin Owens had neck surgery and missed the year entirely. By February, the card that fans were watching had already been rebuilt multiple times. That is the context for what happened next. On February 11th, WWE held an emergency all-departments meeting in Stamford. The 10,000 per night ticket deficit was the explicit subject. Out of that meeting came a mandate from Paul Levesque to reconsider the entire WrestleMania match card, the card that had been locked in before the Royal Rumble in late January, assembled by a creative team that had been working around a depleted roster for months. After the meeting, that card was scrapped. The weeks of television that followed looked like what they were: characters changing direction without the groundwork that makes direction changes feel earned. Storylines swapping partners mid-build. The slow weight of anticipation replaced by decisions that landed without roots. People inside the company began drawing comparisons to the latter years of Vince McMahon's creative control. That comparison has a specific meaning in wrestling circles. It describes a pattern: last-minute reversals, talent learning their WrestleMania plans the day of a taping, storylines dropped before their payoffs. The people making the comparison were not being dramatic. They recognized what they were seeing. Road Dogg, Brian James, resigned as co-lead writer for SmackDown during this stretch. He had spent over a decade at the company, and that kind of time builds something that cannot be written in a briefing.
You said it's possible that Kevin Owens will never come back? Damn, bro, I'm not gonna lie, but neck surgery is no joke. WWE is a serious sport, bro, but I feel like I didn't know that this much people were getting injured this frequently, you know?
Feel for how the roster works, which performers can carry which kinds of stories, where the long threads are buried. He left because he felt shut out of major decisions by TKO's new structure, and he left during the most critical creative window of the year. Eric Bischoff said publicly it was the worst possible time to lose an experienced hand. Someone close to the situation told the Wrestling Observer that the original plans were creatively strong, and that the ticket problem was always a pricing problem. By scrapping a solid creative plan to fix a pricing problem, WWE went into WrestleMania season carrying both. The television in the final weeks before the show carries the weight of both at once. WrestleMania 42 will have the production. The performers will be there. Allegiant Stadium holds 65,000 people, and WWE knows how to fill a building with something that looks like a spectacle.
This building holds 65K? 65K. And didn't they say currently each building only has 30? Ooh, that's less than half, or about half.
What the event has lost takes longer to build than any of that. WrestleMania's power has always depended on a kind of shared agreement.
Bro, Hulk Hogan picked up
belief that
Andre
this
the
specific
Giant?
Weekend sits in a different category.
I never
than
seen
other
that clip.
weekends. That belief is built over
Damn.
decades. A new city every year, ticket prices that assumed the core fan could get there with enough planning, stories built for the person who drove 4 hours to sit in the upper deck. Those decisions, held year after year, are why the event carried weight even through bad television. When they go, they don't announce themselves. They just quietly stop doing their work. The anonymous source near the top of WWE said the audience is there. They just aren't inclined to pay what's being asked. That gap between the audience that exists and the audience that is showing up is the real story of WrestleMania 42.
That
The
looks
booking has been worse
tough.
before,
That
and the
image. I
event's
never
still
seen
sold.
that image of
The
them like
production
that.
will be extraordinary. The thing that has shifted is the distance between the event and the people it was built over decades to serve. The ticket numbers give that distance a specific figure, but the feeling of it, the absence of the Hume that used to start in January, that was already there before anyone ran the numbers. Thanks for watching. If you got something out of this, a like and a subscribe goes a long way.
I feel like it's kind of that, the price increases, them making like sporadic decisions, people getting injured, and it's also I feel like things get leaked too, because I feel like a lot of the people end up finding out who's going to win the card before the card is even out. You know what I'm saying? You said skip to 7 minutes?
All right, ladies.
Mother effer, what you showing me? Randy Orton shockingly attacks. Oh, I seen this. Randy Orton is now like in demon mode again. And he was beating the shit out of him, and they had to keep getting security away from this guy all bloodied up and shit. I don't know, bro. I don't know what's gonna happen. You know what I just realized? We've been streaming for 2 hours and 45 minutes, and I haven't even started an inch of Yakuza. That's a big fa moment right there. I have not even started Yakuza. Randy Orton needs to win. There's a high probability. I don't even know. Guess what? We won't be playing Yakuza tonight. Bro, if I refresh this tab. Tung 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 Ness? Umar on point.
Big difference between the Snow Bunny and the African Queen is the Snow Bunny will find a black man in progress. She will find him on the job. She will find him on the university. And that Snow Bunny will see a black man with potential, and she will invest in him. She will help him level up. And then when the sisters see him 5 years ago, 5 years later, he's a millionaire, and the sisters say, look at that sellout. He went and got a white girl. But guess what? When he was looking for a sister to help him level up, to invest in him, none of them wanted it. You know why? Too many black women want a finished product.
I ain't gonna. Why you sending me this, bro?
Yes, Booker T.
Why you sending me this, bro? That time Booker T was commentating himself fighting at TNA. No way.
Booker T would have picked up the big shot. Boom. Booker T just.
Oh yeah.
All treed up. Booker T's pulling treed up right now. He's gonna hit him with that big thrust kick. Booker T just got agree with that big thrust kick. What the hell is going on? There's a lot of mayhem out here. They looking at Petey Williams. He sees Petey standing there. Petey's down. He's dogging him. He's got a big kick set up. Well, he's gonna catch him in. He's gonna get.
Well, it looks like the Main Event Mafia continues.
Nah, the best clip, no cap. You already know what clip I'm looking up. This is the best wrestling clip. This is the best clip. WWE. This shit will always be fucking funny, bro. You already know what the fuck I'm looking at right here. This segment right here with these two motherfuckers, Ric Flair and Jay. That's right there. Oldest line. Wait, oldest ride, longest line. Flair does. I don't know why he just randomly just starts. He would just hit the floor. Boom. Woo!
Limousine ride. Rolex wearing.
Rolex wearing. really dealing, limousine riding, big dick hiding. Yo, he just be saying anything that rhymes, bro. What the hell happening in WWE? This is old school WWE. This is I think what, TNA? Best of TNA. This is like years ago, but classic, bro. Classic. Big woo off. Woo! You said this one is better? You got a better one than that? No way. Oh my God. You got to... Bro, why don't they do these anymore? Fighting in like... Bro just wanted him to hear the noise. The ketchup. Oh, hitting him with the squeezy. Bruh.
Look at the pretty place. Look at the pretty flowers. Different flowers.
Bro. These were like really good segments. I can't lie. Oh my gosh. Chat, I gotta hop on Yakuza at least a little bit. I need to get at least an hour in Yakuza. These segments do be costing money, and Triple H can't afford to spend money on these stuff. He could, bro. He could. Wheeling dealing, son of a gun. That could even make that fat girl cry. I'll even kiss that fat girl and make her cry. Nishiki meeting time? I'm not even gonna lie. What we gotta do is that side quest with the little girl with the boy at the park.